together through our lives. You and I, me and you. There ain't nothing we can't get through. I know we're gonna be alright as long as we focus on the light. 'Cause I know mistakes can find their place to our lives. This could be us. This could be everything we want. This could be us. This could be everything we want. I know we gotta be alright as long as we focus on the light. This could be us. This could be us. You and I running together through our lives. You and I, me and you. There ain't nothing we can't get through. I know we're gonna be alright as long as we focus on the light. 'Cause I know mistakes can find their place to our lives. This could be us. This could be everything we want. This could be us. This could be everything we want. I know we gotta be alright as long as we focus on the light. This could be us. This could be us. This could be everything we want. I know we gotta be alright as long as we focus on the light. This could be us. This could be us.
When I feel down, I try
It's a beautiful place.
Moments is. By the way, I think we're muted. Let me know when the muting's gotten fixed. Are we there? Hey, we're there! You know what? The problem's been fixed. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry about that one. Welcome in. Joining me here again is ZekVexol and Maxine. 4 teams remain here. We got to see a lot of action yesterday, Maxine. How are you feeling tonight knowing that today we crown a champion?
I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to this matchup. You mentioned a little bit before during the muting. I mean, $300 on the line, and anytime there's money involved, these teams love to bring their A game. And what better group to do it than the absolute peak of it, the Pinnacle Cup? I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Maxine?
I'm also looking forward to it. You know, we had some pretty one-sided matches yesterday, but one-sided matches always mean some closer matches in the future. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, as you said as well, yesterday was expected to be a day where we saw a bit of mismatches, and clearly it was. If we take a look at our bracket here, we had 4 matches yesterday. All of our quarterfinals have been completed. Started in the evening with Justice for Solo versus Sloth Command. And then it was Midwest Mafia and Serenix Esports. That was a major surprise yesterday to see Midwest Mafia sweeping Serenix Esports. Hunter's Night also sweeping Sloth Dark. The only match that wasn't a sweep was almost a reverse sweep run for KCG Chaos, although losing in Game 7 overtime to Shawnee State University. Yesterday was busy, and if we take a look at our bracket today, we have our semifinals and finals up ahead. We'll start with Shawnee State University and 100X Knight, and we'll move to Justice for Solo versus Midwest Mafia. We've got a lot of matches tonight. We've got a lot of good action tonight as well. A lot of teams are playing. A lot of teams are playing for that win. It really is anybody's night to take it, and only one team will get that opportunity. So we got some great matches today, but before we talk about today, we got to talk about yesterday here. Maxine, you're here. You got to see all these matches. You got to even cast for a couple of them. What match yesterday really, struck you as the match that people should, if they were to go back and watch it in its entirety?
Well, I think that this answer is pretty set in stone. I think that KCG Chaos and Shawnee State University match was something to definitely look at. It was a very close game, Shawnee State, they came out swinging, but then KCG Chaos, they locked in, almost had the reverse sweep before Shawnee State closed it out in Game 7 overtime, like you said, Sporty.
Yeah, I said it as well. It was a Game 7 overtime. It ended very shortly as well. It was a rather lackluster end to what was a very impressive fight for KCG Chaos by Shawnee State, as expected, having moved on, albeit in a very tough run. That Shawnee State team's been having some issues ever since they lost Royale as one of their starters. You had to play with their sub in adverse. We saw some great matches yesterday. ZekVexol. What match yesterday do you think was the match that people should go back and watch? Is there any team from yesterday that you think people should go back and watch and really expect to perform well tonight?
I really love a good nail biter. Everybody loves seeing and watching those long matches, especially from a team being Shawnee State, who was 6-0 during the regular season. But let's talk about those dominant matches. I mean, my eyes are on Justice for Solo versus Sloth Command. It just felt overwhelming. It felt very powerful. Justice for Solo, they come out swinging, and I don't even feel like they had their main roster there. I mean, they're missing some of their top players, their top performing players. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on them throughout tonight. I mean, semifinals, maybe even moving into the finals, but only tonight's going to be able to tell.
Yeah, as you said as well, they didn't even have Peaky in that matchup. That is our regular season MVP, and they didn't even have him for the quarterfinals, and they still dominated Sloth Command. Just shows you how good Justice for Solo are, why they are in that number 1 seed position coming into this bracket, even if they aren't undefeated. There's a reason why this team has done so well, and I think many consider the much tougher of the two groups in Group A. If I'm looking at a match from yesterday that I think was interesting, it's the Midwest Mafia matchup. Serenix Esports coming into this match were expected to perform well and really struggle. That Midwest Mafia team, we always forget just how good they are in playoffs, but there's a reason why this team won the Apex Cup 2 seasons ago, why they won the top division 2 seasons ago before it was renamed the Pinnacle Cup, before we had this much higher ranked division. There's a reason why they won 2 seasons ago. There's a reason why they made the semifinals a season ago when we started the Pinnacle Cup, and there's a reason why they're here in the semifinals tonight. They swept Serenix Esports. They made it. They reminded us just how good that Midwest Mafia rotation is. It's a team that is very tough to break, probably the toughest of any team here to break, and for good reason. Those players have been around for a while. They know each other quite well, so no surprises to see some exciting matchups. With exciting matchups also comes exciting players. That MVP award, it's going to be listed tonight, our playoffs MVP award. We've already seen our regular season MVP in Peaky. He is playing tonight, but for the playoffs MVP, there's still a lot of players still competing for that. A lot of players will be playing tonight. A lot of players will be looking for that chance to be the MVP of the playoffs, to get an MVP award of their own. I know you didn't get to see a lot of yesterday's ZekVexol, but there's a lot of players that I think we're counting on to perform well in this final bracket. What player do you think is the player that we gotta watch out for, because that maybe hasn't had the best day yesterday, but can absolutely play well tonight and win that MVP honor?
Well, someone who didn't have the best of yesterday, who didn't have any of yesterday, it's Peaky for me. Like I said, I've been keeping an eye on this Justice for Solo team, seeing them around in a couple different leagues. They are electric. They come out swinging. Their team play is really great. But Peaky stands out above all as a kind of a jack of all trades, master of them as well when it comes to both offense and defense. He's been leading in the stats with goals, assists, saves. He's up there at the top. First, if not close by in second and third. Like, this guy, he's electric out there on the field, and he has his team to back him up. That's going to be where I'm going to be keeping my eyes on tonight.
Well, I mean, just to make it really simple on just how good Peaky is. Number 1 overall on score. Number 1 overall on rating. Number 2 overall on goals. Tied for first, actually, on goals. Number 1 overall on saves by a margin of 10 saves. Number 2 overall on assists. It simply put, there's a reason why I think everybody was surprised to not see Peaky play yesterday, but Peaky's here tonight for this Justice for Solo team, you know they're going to perform well. Maxine, who performs well yesterday, in your opinion? Who's that player that we got to watch out for? Because again, regular season stats are one thing, but playing when the pressure is high is another. Who played well under the pressure yesterday?
We're talking about a player that played well under the pressure. You have to talk about Jared. He was the knight in shining armor for 100x night. I would even say that when Periscope and Manu, even when they were not playing well, Jared was still there making those 1v3 plays, keeping them in the game. They had a very close game 3 against Lost Dark. It was a very weird game 3, or what, game 2 maybe. No, it was game 3. It was just that, but like the one player that was consistently good throughout that entire game was 100% Jared. You have to look out for him if you're playing at the 100x night.
Yeah, definitely is. Is there anybody else that you have on your mind as that player that we should be watching out for tonight? Obviously, you talk about Jared. I'm surprised you don't mention Manny Alar, considering that he's up there as one of the best goal scorers this season. He's tied with goals and Peaky for the regular season. So, but is there anybody else you think out that should be playing well tonight? Is there anybody else that you think we should mention as playing as someone that can play well tonight?
Well, you said it before, but I think you just said his name. I think Peaky, he didn't play yesterday, but I think because of that, he will be coming out swinging. He wants to show that he is that player for Justice Solo that will make them, they make them a team to look out for as well.
Yeah, and you talk about playing under that pressure here. Well, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Peaky now, considering that 2 analysts are both now calling him out, well before even his semifinals does begin. But knowing how well Peaky's played during the season, obviously a lot of pressure on him here. Like a player that we haven't really mentioned too much on, at least the Midwest Mafia side, a player who performed very, very well yesterday as well, Midwest Mafia. I got to talk about Dylan. He was the MVP in most of their games by scoreline. He was a high scorer, and that's something that's odd to say because for Midwest Mafia itself, he's not really much of a stats leader this season, even though he's played in a lot of their matches. Dylan hasn't really reached that far into stats, so he's kind of a surprise player. I would say in this final bracket, someone that we didn't really expect to perform at the level that he has had. But ZekVexol, talk about how the playoffs can make some players just perform well under the pressure. How players can perform well under that pressure, even when maybe the regular season was rather not very noticeable, to perform well under pressure. It's a whole different environment, and so many players can agree with that. What does the pressure do to allow some players to really harden into diamonds while others fall apart?
So, as a competitive player myself across other games, playing at this high level, there's one thing on my mind, and it's, get to LAN. We're not a LAN tournament here, still online, so you don't get that, in real life experience looking at your opponent right across from you. But what you do get is that competitiveness. We use that regular season, and we take our time, we feel things out, we see how we can best formulate our roster, who works well with who, synergize, especially in a game like Rocket League where you can have subs, you can swap out in between rounds, in between matches. That's something that's really important to me. Find what's most comfortable for your team, how you can strike most, and how you can switch it up. Use the regular season for that. Use the regular season to just get yourself into playoffs. Once you're in playoffs, so this is where you are gunning, you are going for the throat, you bring out the best of the best. Like you said, getting here is the hard part. Making sure you have the best roster, the best setup when you do get here is going to be the top part for me.
Yeah, as well, and Dylan definitely a player to look out for today as well with the way he played yesterday for Midwest Mafia. But it's not Midwest Mafia that we'll be talking about here. Let's talk about our first match. Shawnee State University 100X Knights, the champions of last season, versus the only remaining team that has gone undefeated, and the only team that's gone undefeated through the first 7 weeks of the season. Shawnee State, you said it, they're 6-0, but didn't have a very good day yesterday, ZekVexol. What's it going to take today to beat a 100X Knight roster that yesterday, really, they weren't even playing at their best and still absolutely dominated Slough Dark?
This is a matchup I'm really looking forward to. You got the reigning champions, 100X Knight, 4-2 in Group A. Okay, that's nice. Shawnee State, 6-0, Group B. But yesterday, I think I'm going to take that as a wake-up call for them. It was a close match. There was back and forth. I mean, it went all the way into overtime. I'm sure they were feeling it, and I'm sure they walked away from that match like, guys, we came through that regular season 6-0. We really gave it our all during there. What happened to slow us down yesterday? How did we let this happen? Take that mental reset, come in today, and come out swinging because you have the biggest matchup for you right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I think it's someone that we haven't really mentioned too much of, but Slayer, I was very surprised by how uninvolved Slayer was, especially in the series as the pressure really got high. It was surprising to me as that captain. Slayer really didn't have a great performance yesterday. He had a really good start to the series, but it kind of trailed up by the end there. You saw a lot of action from Taco Stash, especially. Maxine, Shawnee State, they need their captain tonight more than ever, especially against the next night roster that is going to be way more difficult to break through than I think KyleG Chaos were yesterday. Talk to me about Slayer's involvement and how and what tonight now means for Slayer as a captain for Shawnee State, and how he really can't have that sort of. He really can't get quiet like he did yesterday.
Well,
Go on. Go on.
I think that Slayer, as the captain of Shawnee State, he's gonna want to. He's gonna be the man that they can rely on when it comes down to those critical moments in the game. Shawnee State, not an easy team to get stuck on defense, but it does happen, and it is a lot of the time Slayer is that man to break them out of it. So I think that Slayer being that big, that the strong last leg for the Shawnee State University, I think that will really help them in having that confidence to, keep going with it.
Yeah, Slayer's also the lowest ranked player in this lobby. He's the only B ranked player in this lobby. Everybody on 100X Night playing tonight, if it's their starting roster, which I have a feeling it was yesterday, they're all B plus. And Slayer himself, his teammates are both A rank. So Slayer's the lowest ranked player on this pitch, and yet I feel like he's the most important for Shawnee State. Simply put, the way he plays is he's a captain. He plays like a captain, he plays as that captain, and he plays playing like a captain. That's his whole entire role. 100X Night, though, are a team that's known to have slow starts. Are a team that does have some issues. This is not an undefeatable side. 100X Night, I mean, we saw them lose twice this season. And ZekVexol, we were talking a little bit before the show about what hurts 100X Night most, and we both kind of agreed that it seemed to me that 100X Night had issues when it came to adaptations. Talk to me about kind of more specifically about 100X Night's issues with adapting to the play in front of them, especially when they start losing.
When you're a big name team, you're out there on the field, you're used to this win-win-win scenario. You expect yourself to just out-mechanic your opponent. I think that can only get you so far. You need to be able to reel it in, because the moment you are on the back foot, the moment you start getting put down, you're like, guys, what's going on? You start breaking down in comms. We're not used to this. We're not used to losing. We're not used to being down. And it starts to affect the mental. The teams that can overcome that, the teams who can work well under that kind of pressure, are the teams who are going to be coming out on top. And we know 100X Night have the skill set to do it. I mean, Periscope is your leading assist guy. Manny is your leading goal guy for 100X Night and for the league as a whole. These two players can work well. They synergize off one another. So let's see that happen. Let's see that transition to the field. It doesn't just come down to your overall mechanics. You need to have that team play. You need to have that mental, because if a team can get under your skin just a little bit, that might just be your downfall.
Yeah, we'll see about this. 100X Night won last season, are looking to make history tonight, being only the second team ever to win in 2 championships in 2 seasons. They themselves were in the grand finals the season before that, albeit a very different roster back in season 3, losing to Midwest Mafia. So they've been in the grand finals now 2 seasons in a row, looking to make it 3 seasons in a row, and now trying to make it 3 seasons in a row. But to do that, they've got to beat Shawnee State University, a very tough roster. The only team to be undefeated. Maxine, we're just about ready to get this match underway. We're just about ready to get these players in the lobby. Who do you have winning this series?
For me, I think the answer is set in stone. I think 100X Night is destined to take this match after their dominating performance over Sloth Dark yesterday, and the you could say shaky performance that Shawnee State University had yesterday. I think it just all lines up to 100X Night winning over Shawnee State. I'd say in about a 4-1 victory.
Well, 4-1 prediction here. ZekVexol, do you have your own prediction that you wish to make?
I think looking at the regular season, looking at yesterday's playoff matchup, I'm going to double down on what I was saying earlier. I'm going to go for Shawnee State University on this one, 3-2. These teams are going to go the full length. I'm sorry, hold on. 4-1 for Shawnee State. I see this team as, like I said, regular season 6-0. You felt really good about that. You came into the playoffs. You took a really hard-fought victory, but it showed you that you're not unstoppable, and that was the mental reset that they need to come in today. I'm looking forward to see how they pull it out.
Well, we'll see about this one. I have 100X Knights. I think this is a team that just simply put, with the way they played, looked a lot better than Shawnee State. If they both these teams like they did yesterday, I think it's going to be one-sided. Although, I expect Taco Stash and Adverse to have pretty strong performances, I'd go 4-2 in favor of 100X Knight. So, what a bracket it is. But again, as you take a look at our bracket one more time here to show you where we are in our semi-finals, and move into our match in just a moment here. Simply put, it is going to be a big night. Reminder that we start with this matchup, and right after this, we're going to go to Justice for Solo versus Midwest Mafia, and our grand finals at the end of the night. At the end of the night, we will have our champions crown. It's a $300 prize pool as well. So we mentioned yesterday how important it is to get to the semifinals, because through the semifinals, you get your invite to the upcoming Amateur Rocket League Championship in early September. But making the grand finals also has its own benefits. If you make the grand finals, you're not walking away empty-handed. You at least get a little bit of prize money here. And ZekVexol, with $300 up to grabs, only the top 2 teams guaranteed any part of that prize pool. These teams, they don't want to have their work end up on nothing. This match, just like how yesterday's match was important, this match is important as well, just so that you can at least walk away from this tournament with something.
Yeah, you want to walk away with something, like you said right there. I mean, this semifinals is kind of just a defining factor for a lot of teams. Getting up into the grand finals, you are guaranteeing yourself $100, hopefully that $200, walking away with that portion of the $300 prize pool. It's really going to come down to how these teams lay it out on the line, and I don't think we have a better matchup to start with than the one right now tonight, Shawnee State versus 100X Knight. We've been talking constantly over this pregame show, 100X Knight being your reigning champions, Shawnee State undefeated through the regular season, hard-fought victory last night. It's really going to come down to who comes out tonight, who shows up, and then that one thing we were talking about, discipline. You know, who can maintain their composure during the rough times, who can pull it back in those moments. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a nail biter, and it's going to come down to who shows up today.
Yeah, definitely will be a match, and you said a potential nail biter as well. And coming to lobby, we are given guarantee it is going to be the starting rosters for both these teams. Shawnee State University and 100X Knights are here, and they are ready. So let's get things underway. I got a day to talk things out, a day to sort things out, but who will win here? Last season's champions and 100X Knight look to do it 2 seasons in a row. Shawnee State University, 6-0 through the regular season, 1-0 so far through playoffs. Can they make it 2? Can this roster, who lost one of their amazing starters, their star player in Royales, adding in a sub and adverse, can they do what they expect of themselves here? 100X Knight on the orange, Shawnee State University on the blue, and this is a best of 7 matchup for a place in that grand finals. A big match here, and a lot of players to talk to, but one of them, we haven't mentioned them all at all during the pre-desk, but we really should be, is Taco Stash. He's been their biggest goal scorer during the season and already gets one off the play from Slayer.
What an electric start. This is a statement right now. Coming in, Taco Stash wanted to just shove it down the throat. Shawnee State looking good right out of the gate, and this is kind of what I was expecting. This is the money match right now. We got 5 minutes on the clock, a little bit less than that, but the first goal being scored in 15 seconds, 40, against the people who are the reigning champions, the one who everybody's talking about. Come on, they're coming out swinging. There's a second goal coming in. It seems like 100X Knight don't want to take that one laying down. Jared ends up putting it up and evening us on out right away.
Yeah, and we were hearing Maxine talk a lot about Jared and his own involvement. Not only is he just a really good player individually, one of the better one-for-one players in this tournament, but he's going to be important as well. He was the MVP in last season's playoffs when 100X Knight won. He was the MVP in their Paradise Cup win not too long before this season began. Simply put, playoffs is where Jared seems to be at his best, and if he can keep scoring, if he can keep finding ways to put the ball in the net, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds another way to get that MVP award by the end of the night.
Ball down now, over right in front of the goal yet again. Taps over the top. Adverse ends up knocking it out now. Jared meets it up in the air. Now trapped over in the corner of Shawnee State. Are they going to be able to clear it out of here? They're really feeling a little bit of pressure right now from 100X Knight. Take a look at this. Trapped right now on defense. All 3 members kind of floating around the goal, trying to play defensively, trying to clear this ball on now, but they're not really getting a moment to breathe. Jared taps it back on over. This is a really good floating position right now from at least 2 of the members of 100X Knight. We see them floating on back, wanting to keep the pressure up offensively on Shawnee State.
And I love how back and forth it really is. It's Shawnee State, who again struggled yesterday against the KCG Chaos team. They lost the first. They lost the games 4, 5, and 6, they had such a good start as well, and it's kind of fell apart for them. And in KyleG Chaos just continue to really push up and press that issue, take advantage of those rotations. That is something that Shawnee State has had a weakness to in this bracket, because they're playing with a sub, because they're playing with someone who played almost no series, well, I think maybe one series with them during the first part of the season. Simply put, the Shawnee State team hasn't had a lot of time with adverse. That's going to be a major reasoning for why they might struggle here against 100X Knight. And if I'm 100X Knight, they don't have a coach, but if I'm paying attention to Shawnee State team, I'm saying, hey, look at these rotations. They have a lot of openings. They give up a lot of room. Definitely take advantage of that. As an infield pass, Jared will find another. 2 goals for Jared on 2 shots, and Knights take the lead.
Take a look at this one right from downtown. Perry sees it right off the corner, goes for it himself, but Jared ends up swooping on in. This is the kind of teamwork that you're looking for at the higher levels, okay? You're not making the solo plays. Is it nice if you can? Absolutely. But Jared being there, understanding that some things may not always go the way that you're hoping for on the instance, is able to follow it up, is able to get that rebound and put it right on in. Now goal advantage for 100X Knight, leading the charge. We still have half of game 1 to go. And, well, I mean, if Slayer has anything to say about it, it's a little explosive.
Yeah, well, I know for a fact Slayer himself, I called him out during the pre-show. I didn't think he played very well by the end of the series yesterday. We're going to see more of him. Not only is he the captain, not only is he the lowest ranked player in this lobby, but he's very integral to this team's rotation in Shawnee State. He's going to be the glue to allow his teammates to really work well around him. Because, I mean, he's got talent around him. You can't deny how good Taco Stash and Adverse are. They're some of the highest ranked players in this event. Simply put, if this team's going to find success, it's going to come from Slayer, allowing Taco Stash and Adverse to work well around him. He's going to be that rotation. You're not going to see him really do anything crazy on his own, but if he can allow his teammates to work around him, he's going to be a major reason why this team will be successful, and especially against a team like 100X Knight, who themselves individually are just so talented.
Individually so talented. 1:40 left on the clock, and this is some good back and forth going. You know, I was saying earlier that it felt like Shawnee State was just constantly on the defense, and 100X Knight had just some rotations. Now we're seeing a little bit of back and forth coming into play. Shawnee State on offense right now, floating around the midline, but it looks like Jared was able to slip on past. Now corner ball in Shawnee State side of the territory, taps it on over, and Perry just sets it right on in. 3-1 right now for 100X Knight, a 2-goal lead for them as well, for your reigning champions.
Yeah, and you were mentioning, I think, a lot about Perscope being that kind of guy who can, you know, score and make assists, more importantly, but he scores here off the pass from Jared, who so far has 100% goal participation. That you can tell how much Jared wants to win this championship and how much it means for 100X Knight to win this championship. Jared, again, having an incredible performance, but he's got to be careful here. Taco Stash will be denied by Perscope, as now he'll clear it away. That one is wide, but it will bounce up high. Manialar can't take it. Up goes Jared. He'll play it up the ceiling. Still going is Jared. Leaving it. Perscope can't win the play, as in goes Manialar, not able to beat the challenge. Taco Stash to shoot. Jared will keep it out. 1 minute to go here. 100X Knight hold that lead, but Shawnee State, there's still enough time to come back. They've just got to find ways to not only get onto offense, but to actually make their offense mean.
Ball flying on down. Good shot attempt right now from Slayer, but Manialar is going to be able to pick that one on ball. Now down over in Shawnee State side of the things. We got 30 seconds to go, and it's a 2-goal deficit right now for Shawnee State. They need to get aggressive now. They need to get on some offense if they want any chance of even tying us on out right here in our opening game of the night. Ball off the top end of the post. Another off the top end of the post. Good attempts right now, but they can't just find that opening to put it on in. You need to find that opening. You need to take it, but it seems like 100X Knight's defense is a little bit too much right now for Shawnee State. With 10 seconds to go, map 1 is looking in the bin.
I think Shawnee State are in control here, but still a few more plays to go. Manialar will clear, and Perscope will end this game now. No chance to come back for Shawnee State University. And, well, 100X Knight, you said it, that defense showing up well. I mean, this might be an individually strong team, but as a team, they're a good team as well. Like, that's a weird way to say it. But together, they're stronger, and defensively, they're playing well. But for Shawnee State, it looked like they were playing a lot of shots to the back wall. They're playing very back wall, playing a game where they wanted to attack that back wall. Against 100X Knight, that's just not going to work. You gotta do more to make this team make mistakes.
And it's really going to be, how can we find those openings? You know, we saw it a little bit earlier, and I want to say it was Jared and Perry who ended up taking advantage of it, where they were able to find the opening. No man really on defense, and that's where we saw Jared off the corner, pass it up. Perry end up knocking it on in. Who's playing on defense? Find the opening, take the opening. You know, you gotta really make sure you're looking for it at all opportunities, because in this high level, you're not going to get a lot of those opportunities. Good teams aren't going to create openings. They're not going to leave those holes for you to just slip on through. And it just seems like so far in map number 1, 100x Knight was able to take advantage of that. They were the ones who were able to come out on top, but we still got a whole series to go, Sporty, and we are starting off very well.
Yeah, 100x Knight off to a solid start here against a Shawnee State University side that I don't expect them to stay very quiet for long, although they did have 10 shots this game. The problem for Shawnee State was not getting onto offense, it was actually making their offense meaningful. They just didn't do enough with it. But we know this team has what it takes. We know this team as a roster have really good players and can do things. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Shawnee State, you know, elevate their play as this series continues onward here. But for 100x Knight, this team needed that game 1 win. Simply put, for Knight, they're a team that when they lose early in a series, it can be very tough for them to recover. Even with how things look, I mean, they're still not convinced with the with how this series has gone. They just need to make sure that they kind of lock down, get another win. Again, 100x Knight, early in the series is when you can get the most wins against them. As the series goes on, they're going to get stronger. For Shawnee State, they may not know that, but they're going to know it pretty soon. Because it's only going to get tougher to play against this team as they kind of warm up into the day, into these matches, and just continue to really find ways to allow their mechanics to do the talking.
You know, you said it right there. Last time, it seemed like Shawnee State came out swinging with that 15-second goal, and then it seemed like after that, 100x Knight was like, guys, let's not let that one happen on again. You know, they collected themselves, they pulled it on back, but it's really, that's what it's going to come down to. And if that's the kind of discipline, that kind of, you know, composure that we end up seeing from 100x Knight, I'm expecting great things today from them. And we talked about that kind of being their struggle point, you know, being able to maintain composure through that adversity. I'm looking forward to seeing how they can collect themselves, and I mean, so far so good. Shawnee State now is going to be the ones who have to find their opening, and if 100x Knight only gets better from here, it's going to get harder and harder. Take advantage of these early rounds while you can.
Yeah, definitely you want to take advantage of these early rounds, as you said. And again, even more so, 100x Knight, they struggle earlier in the series rather than later. So you really, if you want to beat this team, you've got to get wins soon if you're Shawnee State University, as they'll put one on. Saved away by Jared, who will not get the block on Adverse. That one's in front of the net, but it will be collected by Manuelar. Jared, ooh, a demo as well. Jared's going to have to go on his own, but that's still pretty scary nonetheless as he'll play to the back wall. Nothing really happening here. Shawnee State will send it away as Manuelar. Taco Stash to hold. Jared and Perry both waiting together, but it will be Jared. Adverse to clear. Everybody on that midfield line there for 100x Knight. Everybody going to play more aggressively as Shawnee State playing a very 50-50 level game. It's not too surprising to see them want to take these challenges. Really want to slow things down, maybe take away the boost from Shawnee State first, and then attack later.
Attack later, attack maybe, right off the right post. We hear the ding, a second attempt getting made right now by Shawnee State. Not going to be able to secure that one. Good defense from 100x Knight, because that was pretty close right there for them to kick us off right now. So far, you know, 2 minutes into the game, the majority of the time we have been spending right down in front of Shawnee State's side of the pitch. And again, now back on defense is Shawnee State University. Taco Stash, though, takes it up into the air, crosses the center field line. Is this finally the clear out that they've been looking for to get a little bit more offense? I think that might be what you have to do, though. If we look at how it's been, most of the time down in front of Shawnee State, they're playing defense, 100x Knights putting up the pressure, and then bam, here's an opening. They rush it on down, and they were close there. They were close. I think that's what you got to look for. Kind of like a suck them in and then strike with the opportunity.
Well, it's a very slow-moving game, but you know, somebody's got to break it. That one was almost Taco Stash. As Adverse denied by Perscope. Jared's a clear. Taco Stash will be waiting off the corner. We'll have the touch. Manuelar plays midfield. It's Perscope. Oh, the wrong direction. Still gets it around him. Slayer will have the ball. Manuelar, sidewall. No second touch. Perscope will jump in. 100x Knight right now in a bit of a losing battle on defense. And now it's Jared all alone. Adverse going for the bump. It will be saved from behind by Perscope. Manuelar can't get the clear. Taco Stash. Taco Stash! Baited 2 in and then took the goal. It's the suck and then score. And Taco Stash with the first.
The second net score, I'm gonna patent that one.
That's you said it yourself, my friend. What is it? The second draw on the
Yeah, yeah. I love it though. You know, Shawnee State, they just pull in the members or suck in the members of 100X Night. You know, kind of let them feel aggressive, let them get on that offense because they start playing up, they start creeping up because they want to make those offensive rotations, keep up the pressure on Shawnee State. But that's what Shawnee State was looking for. I feel like, I mean, that's the second time that we saw it now, and this time it paid off. Shawnee State were able to secure the opening goal, and with a minute and a half to go, that took a lot of the game time. It's going to come down to 100X Night to bring it on back, to bring us on in and get that goal back.
The back wall, play it in front. Slayer will have the clear. 100X Night have really not been able to get much room at the other side of the field here. Talk about them holding a lot of the offense, holding a lot of possession. But so much of it has just been in the midfield at the edge of that offensive zone. They really have not been able to get close to that blue net. As Jared around adverse per scope, the Hawko Stash can't take it. Here goes Manular to Jared off the crossbar and down. 100X Night need to make some magic happen, and oh boy did they.
You know, we talked about on the desk, Maxine saying, hey, keep your eyes on Jared. And I can honestly see why. Shawnee State, they get their goal. Who bites back in game one? Jared. Shawnee State, they get their goal. Who bites back in game two? It's Jared. You know, it's like he wants to make sure we're keeping things nice and even. And man, is he doing so. 1-1, 40 seconds to go. And it's such a low scoring game, you know, good back and forth so far. It seems like things have evened on out. Off the top end, Barry puts it on in for the second one, though. 100X Night now taking the lead with 32 seconds left on the clock.
Been a late resurgence for Knight, and what a shot from Perscope. No one even challenged him. That's how good the shot was. That the opponents thought it was wide. So that should tell you a lot of how they are playing here, as this one will be 100X Night right now in the lead. They took it away. Now they look for a third goal as Jared Perscope will hold on. Time is running out here for Shawnee State University as Taco Stash on the dribble. Jared to block, Perscope to look for the clear. Shawnee State did have a 0-second goal in Game 6 of their quarterfinals yesterday, but boy, what a tough position this will be. They're on their own half of the field as Taco Stash won't be able to clear. Adverse has got to help them out. Slayer's to follow. It's Perscope to keep it. Oh, he's actually kept it alive. Adverse to clear. Taco Stash with no boost. He'll force this one in the air, but Manular drops it to the floor. Great control, great movement, and 100X Night from a 1-goal deficit have rallied back to win Game 2, 2-1.
On back, but this is showing me even, you know, we were talking about 100X Night as the games go on, they get more aggressive, they start turning up the dial. I gotta say, you know, this game 2 Shawnee State was looking better than that game 1 Shawnee State. I feel like they are also turning it up. They got their warm-up match out of the way. Yeah, you know, you're on the back foot for both of these, but I gotta say they are the ones who are making the statement first. Game 1, Game 2, Shawnee State being the first ones to find those goals, find those opportunities. This is what I'm looking for. I want to see Shawnee State now. Game 3, this is where you got to shut down the momentum. This is where you got to make sure that you are telling 100X Night that we are going to keep it on up and we're getting ready to head on in.
Game number 3 of this best of 7 series, 100X Night with a decent sized lead now. Shawnee State do have a tactical timeout, chose not to use it last game. Both teams will get one every single series they play, so an interesting choice not to take it, but we'll see how they play even without it. They had the option yesterday and still chose not to use it, so I think Shawnee State is not really a tactical timeout team, and you know what? They've off to another good start here. Adverse just gets it on Perry, the demo in front, just chaos as well, but Adverse gets that goal, and I love what Slayer's doing. He's not on the ball, but he really is what allows that goal to go in. He gets the demo, creates some disruption, allows Adverse an easy and open channel.
That's the teamwork that you want. I mean, we were talking before about, okay, go ahead, how you can pass it to somebody, go for the shot, but it's that making sure you secure the goal for your teammates. Like, I don't need to be the one to touch the ball, and I need to be the one who makes sure that the ball does go in. Ball now over the top of 100X Night. Goal, and Perry again sends it on in. But this is what I'm talking about, you know. Shawnee State, they're the ones to get the opening goal, and 100X Night is like, no, we're not going to take that laying down. They strike back right away, and I feel like that's the exact same time point that they got their goal in game number 1 with 4 minutes and 32 seconds left on the clock. If I remember correctly, it's now 1-1, 4.5 minutes to go, and game 3 is just getting underway.
Yeah, and that's the worrying sign for Shawnee State. Even though they've been able to score first in most of these games, 100x Knight, you can never really run away from this team. And even when you have that lead, it doesn't always really matter too much. This is how Knight plays. They love that aggression, love that offense, and Shawnee State is getting quite the handful here as adverse to clear. Manuelar to challenge. Now it's Jared off the ceiling. Will be for Presco. That's gone wide, adverse to clear, but it is all the way back. Manuelar has to jump for this one, but it is open room for 100x35 Esports as adverse to clear. Slayer, oh, he's getting absolutely tripped up, and adverse will get rid of it here. Shawnee State getting some plays on net right now, but they're only just superficial. They got to get a lot closer to make things happen, and more importantly, they've got to find each other because a lot of their goals have been solo efforts. They have required teamwork, but I want to see more of it. The teamwork's going to win against 100x Knights. So far, Shawnee State have really not been able to string much together.
Not able to stream much together. See if they can stream a little bit of offense together. We saw some pressure a little earlier. Ball flying right across the front end of the goal. We got 3.5 minutes left to go. Ball looks like it gets cleared out by Manny LR. Now down over in Shawnee State side of the pitch. Trapped over in the corner. Jared picks it up, knocks it up. Manny LR chilling on back. Taco Stash catches it in the air, sends it flying on down right off the top post. But it's not going to be able to get anywhere. Slayer, though, trying to follow it up. Flies right on past adverse. Catches it from off the wall. Now back in the corner. Perry clears it on out. Looking to get on out of there, but they will do just that. 100x Knight clear the ball out and play a little offense themselves.
Yeah, that's all 100x Knight is looking for, to keep the offense going. They know with time, they're going to find chances, they're going to find plays, but Shawnee State University, even though they've been scored on a couple times, this has really not been a defensive struggle for them this series. It's been an offensive one. Defense-wise, they're doing a lot of things right. They're challenging well, they're timing their plays well, they're beating 100x Knight in a lot of opportunities, something that a lot of teams can't do have not been able to do this season. But offensively, it's been a much bigger issue for them. So simply for Shawnee State, defensively, they have been solid. Offensively, that's where things need to change.
You know what I think we need? I think we need that something strike back, you know? Shawnee State, pull them on it. We just said it. I mean, their defense has been great. Play around on defense, it's sketchy. Yeah, I mean, you're right in front of your own goal. That ball could go in at any moment, but that's where their defense, which has been the strong point of them throughout this series, comes into play. You're keeping the ball out. You're getting good rotations here. And the moment 100x Knight lets off their guard because their aggression is getting too much for them, that's where you strike on past, you send it on in, and you find yourself another goal. I honestly think Shawnee State could find some opportunity with that.
Simply put, it's really going to come down to can they score next. I have a feeling that next goal that goes in is likely the one that will win this game. As 100x Knight, oh, don't get the touch here. Taco Sash has got an open breakaway, but on low boost, really doesn't have any options. It's got to go for the bump instead. Their scope will drop it down for Manny LR. And Shawnee State are already back on defense. And they're going to be back for a little bit longer here as Scope wins the play. Jared takes the challenge. Adverse will be up, but cannot really get it far. That touch is sent right back in by Perscope. Taco Stash. Manny LR doesn't read the play. He was expecting the bounce off the ceiling here. 100x Knight used everyone to play the midfield. They won't get the ball as Jared to block. Manny LR to clear. And Adverse to take this one back, albeit with a very heavy first touch, but still on offense and with under a minute to go. 100x Knight and Shawnee State University, another close battle. And as I said before, that next goal is likely the one to win it. Shawnee State will now have offense, but you know, in the blink of an eye, it can all very easily change.
All three members of 100x Knight chilling back, ready to play defense. Jared now takes it off in the air. Taco Stash strips it away from him. Adverse picks it on up. Goes a little bit off the top end of the backboard. Ball sailing on out. Ball kept in play, though, for Shawnee State. It looks like it got picked up by a member of 100x Knight. Periscope now catches it in the air. 20 seconds to go. Taco Stash comes on down. Ball in front of the goal from Shawnee State. Not going to be able to amount to much. Still 1-1. Time ticking down. 10 seconds to go. Adverse in the air. Right off the backboard. Goes for the double. Slayer for the follow-up. Off the backboard again. They're not able to find it. It looks like we're headed towards overtime unless somebody can make something happen.
And that was the chance for Slayer as well, right in front of the net. That's exactly what you want. All of the defense were caught out of position. And yet, even then, when the pressure is high, Slayer just cannot put it in. The bounce was too much. Maybe he just got under it, was expecting the bounce to be a little bit lower. Maybe he just expected them to have more defenders who wanted to shoot it up a little higher. Whatever it is, he hit that shot too high, and we are in OT for the first time tonight. Slayer to clear. We'll be back in by Perscope. We saw overtime a lot in Shawnee State's match yesterday against KCG Chaos. I think it was 4 overtimes in that 7-game series. We had a lot of overtimes, to say at the very least. It ended in overtime as well. 100X Knight, I mean, they didn't play overtime. I don't believe they may have played overtime once yesterday. I think they played once yesterday in their series. No, they didn't play overtime yesterday, but again, Shawnee State did. They had 5 overtimes, apologies, including the last 3 games. A lot of their wins came in OT. This is a team that can play well under pressure, but Knights are holding the offense right now and are looking still to be the ones to strike, to be the ones to take match point early in this series.
Away, sails across the goal of 100X Knight. Adverse picked it up from center field. Jared flies over his head. Adverse goes for the top on down. 2 members are there. No follow-up, able to get on in. Ball just coasts right on out from in front of the goal, but the pressure's still on as Slayer taps it on back. All 3 members of 100X Knight ready to keep this one on out. Game 3 comes on down to this. Adverse not wanting to let this opportunity go to waste. Ends up crashing on into 2 members of 100X Knight. Slayer picks it up. Ball goes underneath the defenders. Taco Stash taps it on over. Perry, though, in front of the goal, gets it on out.
But it's low on boost. You're seeing those double commits start to hurt them badly here, but they're holding on well. They've had some tough defensive blocks in this one and a couple fortunate plays, but it all amounts to an overtime that continues onward as Jared will win the play. Offense now for Knight. They've had to play the last 45 seconds on their own half of the field. They'll be happy to play some time on the blue half as well. Per scope. Past 1, Slayer getting bumped out the way. He won't be there to challenge early, and will have to meet a challenge from Perry. As Taco Stash had the goal that they started off with. Now he's got the goal and it! What was that? Taco Stash was looking for the strong shot. Instead, he did some voodoo magic, and both the defenders committed.
Well, it was like he just like, okay, I'm not going to go for like a full shot. I'm just going to kind of like graze the ball on in, and it was moving too slow, I feel like, for the defenders of 100X Knight. But I like what you've been saying. Find the opportunity and then take it. And I think that was it right there. What a great read of that last situation. I think that is right there. It was just reading the field, reading what's going on around you, seeing who's coming in, and that was the correct call that was made. Shawnee State getting their first one on the board.
First, what they're hoping to be many tonight. 100X Knight have got a real challenge ahead of them here. This is the toughest season in the Pinnacle Cup we've ever had in our when we first allowed divisions to a division to be uncapped. Ever since season 3, this has been our closest division by the players that are in it. And Shawnee State's proving it here, taking a major victory here in Game 3 and an overtime victory as well. It's a tough road. It's a tough series, but you gotta get the wins when they come, and you gotta get these overtime wins as well. That momentum's now has now shifted to their side. As long as they're able to keep things going, you could really feel like this series could completely flip on its head. And Shawnee State, we could be talking about them potentially winning this series and taking match point.
Man, I feel like I'm gonna be like a record right now, or a broken record, I should say. I was saying opportunities, but I think that's really what it comes down to. And we saw what would have prevented us from going into overtime altogether, just being an unfortunate instance for Shawnee State, but they were able to bring it on back in overtime. Now heading on into game number 4, 5 minutes back on the clock. We both have said it, the momentum has been broken for 100X Knight. Can Shawnee State build some momentum themselves? It's time we find out. Here we are in game number 4.
Yeah, the series only continues and the pressure only thickens as per scope. Manuel R. Jared, he's already up. Flip reset. He will not get the touch though. Didn't have enough boost. As everybody jumping in for Knight, Manuel R. will take this one off the corner. Another play for Jared, the one you don't want on the ball. Saved away by Adverse. Infield pass now. Per scope takes it. Per scope. Flip reset. Bump. Open play. Taco Stash denies. And a huge save early. Knights keep the offense going. This one's in front. Slayer doesn't have boost, but Manuel R's got the room. Plays it back. Jared will jump. He will keep the play in. For Scope, the captain. Saved away by Slayer. Manuel R's overcommits. And Taco Stash will slow this one down and give Shawnee State a chance to breathe.
taps it on up. Oh, man, what a start right now. 100x Knight keeping up the pressure. Now a little bit of defense for them. I think they were kind of tired of playing the amount of defense that they did. The ball's just coasting right now in front of the goal of 100x Knight. Gets swatted on out of there, though, eventually. Adverse ball floating on past Periscope, looking to knock him out away. Slayer, though, keeps it in play. Jared floating on back to tap this one on out. Double members of 100x Knight going to prevent this from getting in front of the goal. Looking to swap things up now, head back over on offense. I think, like I said, they were kind of tired of being on the back foot during that overtime. They want to get aggressive, and we talk about 100x Knight being that aggressive team, using their own mechanics, their better, what they feel like they have the advantage of over everybody, to their favor, and this is the way to do it. Really just shove it down the throats of your opposition.
So far tonight, from what we saw from Shawnee State yesterday, and still they know the work is never truly done until either you win and you lift that trophy, or your run ends in a single elimination bracket. As they'll play midfield, that's a great read from Jared, as Slayer had a player right in front of that net. It's been far more defensive than 100x Knight would like to admit it has been, but as the way the series has gone, there's been very few goals, very few plays to go in, and Knight know it's really going to come down to 1 or 2 goal differences, minor changes to make things happen. And demos as well. We've seen a lot of them so far for Knight. Is that redirect will be easily kept away by Adverse. A lot of room now between everybody from Knight. Is everybody pushing out, going for boost, not really staying too close together. That spacing, if they do stay far away from each other, could open up rooms for passing, but it could also open up rooms for Shawnee State to play one-on-one, and I wouldn't... And usually I'd say that's a bad thing against Knight to play one-on-one against them, but Shawnee State, I feel like, are the best team here to play that game mode against them.
I think they are, and I think they're showing that they are as well. They're looking really good. Ball goes right in front, and Jared comes in from the side and strikes it on in. First one on the board. This time, for the very first time, 100x Knight is on the board first.
And Taco Stash going for that flip. Should not have done that. See, maybe didn't see Jared. I'm almost certain he did, but that flip commits him to stay near the floor. If he double jumps, he gets that block. But because he flips, he can't correct, he can't change, and Jared knows he's got that angle above him. Parry now. Saved away by Adverse. Alar. Well, this one's gone the whole wrong direction as Jared nearly put it in his own net. And he'll keep it away. 1 goal already for Knight. Still not done just yet. Not when Shawnee State has proven time and time again. They can score it, and they oftentimes will score. And it's often going to be from that guy right there in Taco Stash, as he's across the field. Will be the one first to this, as Prairie will not read. Taco Stash dunked away anyways. Alar will dribble this one downfield. Adverse will clear it back, but Shawnee State staying on the ball as it's Slayer. Adverse, and it's in! What a redirect! No one saw it coming.
Take a look at this. Adverse with the demo. Slayer taps it on up, and then Adverse like, okay, yeah, you know, I can send this right over. Jared coming off the respawn, and nobody is there to get it. Good shot right now. And hey, look at that. Shawnee State gonna be the ones to bring it on back 1-1 with a minute and a half to go. Time is ticking down, but we're keeping these low score games running. Slayer now picking up the ball, crossing the midfield. Jared catches it, goes over into the corner of Shawnee State. Perry and Adverse kind of doing a little bit of 1v1 scenario, like you said, getting those 1v1s against 100x Knight and see how it goes. Jared taps it on over, Adverse picks it up, and immediately Manny LR goes for the shots and sends it on in. 100x Knight put their second one on the board at almost exactly that 60-second mark. 59 seconds to go, 2-1, 100x Knight.
Got caught hot dogging there, as people would call it. He had a little bit of a siesta in the corner and didn't realize there was nobody else covering the net. So he's just given an open goal for 100x Knights, and, well, you don't want to... It's already tough enough to play against this team. The last thing you want to do is make their life even easier. We're inside the final minute now. Shawnee State's got to get a goal back. Time is running out for them.
I think that's a big thing that, like I was talking about. When you see those opportunities, you have to take them. You have to go for them, because these good teams are not going to give you many of them. 100x Knight looking really great. I think that's the first one we've seen where they haven't been able to really secure on a open position, I want to say, on the goal. Ball now coasting in front of the corner. Shawnee State on the defense. Gonna try to clear this one out. We got 20 seconds to go. Ball now sends on back. Taco Stash picks it up. Jared, though, catches it. Slayer knocks it on away. 10 seconds to go. Shawnee State need to find one.
Time. Late game heroics may be needed as Taco Stash. This one is deflected in front. Adverse! He was there, but just not fast enough. 100X Knight take the lead in the series. It's them who are on match point and are one win away from a spot in the grand finals.
Match point, it all comes down to this. This has been such a good one so far tonight. 100X Knight leading us most of this series, 3-1. But, I feel like Shawnee State is putting up a good fight. They scored first in 3 of those 4 games, coming out with that early aggression. But 100X Knight was able to collect themselves, and they were able to bring it on back, if not more so, in, I should say, 3 out of 4 of those matches. Shawnee State, this is what your season rides on. This is going to be the determining factor if you get that guaranteed pot, or are you going to be going home with nothing after all this?
Yeah, Shawnee State knows that. I'm sure they know, with this bracket being single elimination and the reputation that 100X Knight carry with them, they're going to need to dig deep. And as expected, this is again a Shawnee State team that doesn't really like to take tactical timeouts. They won't take one here. They're going right into Game 5, so 100X Knight have that major advantage. They could eliminate Shawnee State before the grand finals and advance to what would be a 3rd straight season in the top 2. 100X Knight have never missed a grand finals ever since they first arrived in ATS Season 3. Scope has been on this roster. He's the only one, actually, that's been on this roster for every single season that Knight has played. They've never missed a grand finals. In fact, in all ATS tournaments, they've only missed the grand finals once, and that was in Paradise Cup 2, when they lost to the eventual winners in Life, Plexi, and Ultra. Yes, the Life, Plexi, and Ultra, who have made the Life and Plexi, who have made top 12 in RLCS regionals. That's the only time they have missed a top 2, and in a tournament like that, I mean, I think you can give them some slack. There's a reason why this Knight roster has been ATS royalty for so long, why they've been as consistent as they have been. And Shawnee State now, if they want to deny 100X Knight a grand finals, they've got to win 3 games in a row. They've got to find their own comeback as well, which is going to be, well, difficult would be an understatement. A monumental task would probably be more like it.
Monumental indeed, but they are gonna have to make it happen if they want any chance at that pot. Demos going back and forth. There's an opening right now. Slayer from center field puts it on in. 60 seconds off the clock. First one on the board for Shawnee State University. We said they needed to find it, and there it is.
Hey, early goal again, but Zek, I can't even get excited for this anymore, because we know what happens afterwards here. We know what happens when Shawnee State scores first. It doesn't take long for 100X Knight to come knocking on the front door. I think if I'm Shawnee State, I'm going to be excited once you get that second goal in a row. That's when I'm excited, because they haven't done that yet in this series, and that could be the difference maker in a Game 5 as crucial as this, because we all know 100X Knight can and so far have responded. It's not over until you can get multiple goals against 100X Knight and really keep them back, as that nearly went in. Jared playing the info pass to Manny Alar, and Taco Stash to clear.
Taco Stash picks it on up. Kosan's down. Periscope picks it on up. Adverse goes for it, but Manny Alar is able to get behind it and prevent that shot from going in. We almost had that second one for Shawnee State, but almost only counts in, what do they say, horseshoes and hand grenades, that kind of thing. Ball down over in the corner. 100X Knight territory, playing a little bit of defense now. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. Adverse taps it on up, and it goes on past Jared, and it goes on in. There it is. Let's get excited. Shawnee State with the second one on the board.
A big second goal for Shawnee State, and a horrible misplay from both Jared and Scope. I don't know how on earth Jared misses that one. He must have expected another touch, but 100X Knight just showing up, showing strong, and I have to say, that's a strange error to make. Now he's missed another one here. This is an open net. Oh, they missed. Follow-up is in. Another mistake for Jared, and for 100X Knight, it's all falling apart for them.
What seems like some alarm clocks have gone off right now. Shawnee State has woken up. They want to keep themselves in this. They're like, guys, this is it. Our season is on the line. That cash prize is on the line. And oh my, Shawnee State 3-0. We're not even halfway through this game so far. And this feels like a completely different Shawnee State than it has been all night so far. I mean, look at this. Like 70% of the time we have been spending down with 100 100x Knight on defense. Okay, that is detrimental. That feels like they are just feeling the pressure. They can't find an opportunity to clear this one out. Will this be the opportunity they need? No. Slayer and Taco, they're chilling on back adverse, floating on over the top, and they're going to be able to clear this one on out and swap back over. This is good because in these low-scoring games, that 3-goal lead, it means a lot.
Does we've not seen a team actually, I think, score 3 goals in a while in this series. 100x Knights, I think, did it in game 2, I want to say, but simply put, it has not happened much. We've not seen a 3-goal lead on its own like this. 100x Knights with a major adversity against them, and one that it's going to be very tough for them to recover from, because Shawnee State's defense, as we said, has not been their weak point tonight. It has been their strong point, and we've seen them shut down 100x Knight even when the game was close, but this game's not close. It's 3-0. 100x Knight needs something to change, and right now it hasn't shown, as Taco Stash actually hasn't scored yet this game, which I find quite a major surprise, but that's a good sign for Shawnee State. They're up 4-0, and Taco Stash has finally put one in the back of the net on his own terms.
Look at that. I mean, everybody now on the board. This is pretty good. Adverse looking for his hat trick. It's 4-0. Oh, man, when was the last time we had a 3-goal lead? Okay, well, now we have a 4-goal lead. Shawnee State University right here in game number 5. I want to say they're trying to keep this one alive, but, man, I got to tell you, they're looking really good at it. They are making sure to make a statement right now. And I was like, okay, you know what? They came out game 1. They got that early goal within like 8 seconds. Yeah, that's making a statement. Sure, but I mean, I feel like this is a little bit bigger of a statement. I mean, if they can pull this off, I mean, what, 2 more times? Yeah, you know, it's a lot to do. But if this is the Shawnee State that we're seeing that's waking up, that's coming out to play right now, maybe it takes them a few games to get online, and I hope that's the case because I'm looking for that full series. Oh,
well, Shawnee State, they want to give it to you, as Adverse is going to take a 3-goal lead with a minute to go. What a showing in 100x Knight. They want to call this one, so that's a call for them. They do not want to play the rest of this game. I mean, you can't blame them with the way that they're feeling. What a showing for Shawnee State, though. This has been absolutely dominant.
You know, I'm looking at this, and honestly, I want to go back to what we were talking about on the desk and even back in the pregame. You know, it feels like so long ago, but it's 100x Knight and the mental thing right now. I feel like they are feeling it. I mean, when you get that 2-goal deficit, which you don't see too often at high levels, then it becomes a 3-goal, then it becomes a 4-goal. Now it's a 5-goal lead. And seeing them saying they want to call it, this kind of speaks volumes for me as a person who's played at the higher levels, a person who's played in competitive for different games. This tells me that this 100x Knight might be shaky a little bit right now. I am gonna be interested to see what happens, and Adverse puts another one in. That's his 4th goal in this just game alone. It's 6-0. There's still 20 seconds left on the clock. Smarty, I feel like 100x Knight is I don't want to say wavering, but you know, this game I gotta say wavering.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it is. I mean, this has been so dominant so far. Shawnee State 6-0, and I mean, they're just padding their stats at this point. Adverse trying to find a 7th. I really feel like they don't need to score anymore, but they still want to. As if things have been weird enough for already. They want to keep stat padding. We saw 100x Knight do this yesterday to Sloth Dark. Shawnee State's now through 5 games have gone 2 wins here. Things are getting oh so very close for themselves as Shawnee State's now trying to keep things close, keep things competitive. We go to Neo Tokyo up next for game number 6, and I think if you are 100x Knights, you know that it isn't over just yet, but you know Shawnee State slowly but surely closing that gap, and if this team can find some space, and I guess find Adverse, if this game has anything to say about it, they'll be successful.
I just gotta know, is the one thing we talk about with 100x Knight going to show true right here? Is Shawnee State, is this game right now where they went 6-0, going to play a factor in how 100x Knight performs for the rest of this series. It's going to come down to next game to determine that. If Shawnee State can sit there and just keep that momentum going and keep 100x Knight feeling like they're on the back foot, then I'm really looking forward to seeing Shawnee State just run it down, shove it down their throats, and give us that return that we've been looking for. Take us to Game 7. I'm sorry, take us to Champions Field, okay, in Game 7. This is great right now. ATS Pinnacle Cup, it's the semifinals matchup, and I feel like we are really getting into it now.
Yeah, we really are. We get to see some of the best teams in this tournament continue how they've been continue and play at their very best against other top teams. I mean, these are matches that we didn't get to see in the regular season, but we've all been shaping up to be. I think this has been one that's been highly anticipated. We talk about the champions of last season and a team that literally cannot lose to anyone. I mean, it feels like it's a perfect matchup right now, and I'm sure that both these teams will. I'm sure they're not happy. They want to win this match. They just want to get done with it and go to the grand finals. But for a fan out there, for a casual viewer, I mean, this is exactly what you want. It's exactly what you've been asking for all season.
You know, we say, oh yeah, it's match point, it all comes down to this, one more, and 100x Knights moves on to that grand finals, but I feel like after that last match, it's the furthest thing from them than it has been. You know, yeah, you only need that one, but you know, it's just Shawnee State. Look at this already, trying to keep up some pressure again, and it's Taco Stash who puts it on in. Shawnee State on the board first yet again. Oh, I'm gotta be honest, Sporty. You know, if I'm 100x Knight, I'm feeling it.
There you are. It's another game where Shawnee State just get that first goal. It's another game where they find that net. I really feel like with the way tonight's going, if 100x Knight don't win this game, I mean, I expect that they're going to use that tactical timeout. They haven't used it. They didn't use it yesterday. They didn't have to. They won their match in a sweep. But tonight, if they go to Game 7, I think you have to use that timeout because that's what it's there for. It's there to reset the mentality. It's there to reset your opponent's momentum. Shawnee State, you can tell, are feeling great right now, are feeling amazing right now. If things, you know, start to go wrong for 100x Knight, they've got to use that timeout, slow things down, and take a moment to breathe, to make a game plan. That is, of course, if this game does not go in their favor, and it's still very early, too early to call us. Taco Stash missed it! Oh, what a mistake! Shawnee State read it perfectly, and Taco Stash, well, I guess not perfectly, but that's when you expect him to get. He had low boost, but it just floats in, and all he can do is watch. That's a miss that may come back to hurt.
That's something that you can't be doing in this kind of situation. After you have such a sweep in that last game, after you take the first goal in this game, you have to make sure you are playing your A game, or at least playing as cleanly as possible. I mean, not even playing your A, playing your S game. You know, you gotta be S tier right now if you want to keep up the pressure on 100x Knight, because this is a team where if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Ball taps down in front of the goal. Close one, Jared on the save, but pressure still on as adverse taps on over. Taco Stash goes across the goal. All three members of 100x Knight there, not able to put it on in. Slayer keeps it up the pressure. A periscope is there. Taco Stash catches it yet again. Manny, though, is going to swat it on away. You got to get it out from in front of your goal, I feel like. And that one goal, I feel, is the thing that 100x Knight needed, and desperately needed so, because you got to say, that was like 7 goals in a row between last game and this one for Shawnee State.
Yeah, it has been a goal scoring fiasco for Shawnee State, but now this game, things are back to being even, and likely a 1-goal difference to decide this one. For how close it has been, we have not seen many overtimes either, only one so far this series. And 100x Knight, Shawnee State not looking eager to go to another. Manny Alar wins the challenge against Slayer. Per scope, shot, score! 100x Knights find another per scope, submarining that shot right under Taco Stash, and 100x Knights looking poised to go to the championship.
That's what I'm talking about. You give 100x Knight an inch, they're going to take a mile. I honestly feel like that first goal was such a mental reset for 100x Knight. They took that one and they are running with it, able to find a second one now. This is, okay, back to the status quo from games 1, game 2, game 4. You know, they're like, okay, guys, we're good. We can pull this one on back. We're chilling. There's no sweat, no problem. We're back in it. Let's see what happens. A minute 45 left on the clock, and it's up to Shawnee State to turn the tables again. Now, I was talking about how it feels like going on to the finals was probably one of the furthest things on the mind for 100x Knight. Now it feels like it's on the forefront. Now it feels like it's almost a guarantee with having that 2-1 lead.
Seen hold this lead late before, but not without the issues. Shawnee State are going to throw everything they can at that net. The Bears holding on to life, holding on to any hope to win this semifinals against last season's defending champions, the Pinnacle Cup champions of our most recent tournament. 100X Knights hold the keys to success, but they only hold it in a 1-goal lead. Manuel R. Taco Stash can't win the challenge. Now he gets around another. This one is in front. Taco Stash is there. Flicked by one. Manuel R to challenge, but it will stay midfield. Adverse had 4 goals last game. Can't win the challenge here. Bumped out his per scope. Slayer, all this time, will send it down the field. Adverse is airborne. Double commit. That backfield is open, and Slayer will look to take advantage. He can't get around that one. Adverse will. Infield pass. Double commits, but it's cleared away.
30 seconds to go. Adverse on the demo. Get out those defenders on out of there. Time is ticking down right now on the season of Shawnee State University. On that hot right now for Shawnee State. At the potential to make it to the grand finals. 100X Knight looking to put this one away. They're playing a little bit of defense right now. They need to just be, okay guys, take a breath, calm down, play collected. 10 seconds to go. 9, 8, it all comes down to this. And the ball gets swatted away to the Shawnee State side of the pitch.
Come down to scoring here. It's Adverse again. Infield pass. It's cleared away. 100X Knights are off to the championships for a 3rd straight season.
Never miss a grand finals. 100X Knight bring it on back, and they're headed right back on in to the grand finals here at the ATS Pinnacle Cup. What an exciting opening match for tonight. And Sporty, I gotta be entirely honest, if this is the way the matches are gonna be going, oh boy, am I looking forward to the next 2 series.
Yeah, you said it as well. These next couple series are going to be big. They're going to be fun to watch. 100X Knights, the defending champions, defending their title still. They play in just about an hour from now against the winner of Justice for Solo and Midwest Mafia. My goodness, as you said, this is going to be how the matches are tonight, and they are going to be like this tonight. We're in for a real treat. We're the ones that get blessed with these kind of matches, and we get to just sit back and enjoy. But what a matchup here. 100X Knight advancing to the grand final. Shawnee State eliminated. What a huge performance. The team that could not seem to lose all season takes their first loss and their only loss to last season's defending champions. We're going to go to a quick break here. When we come back, Midwest Mafia and Justice for Solo, the other finalist, will be decided in just about an hour's time. See you then.
I remember one night in September, lying on our backs under the moon. You told me that nothing lasts forever, but I was too busy falling for you. But I should have listened, 'cause now I'm here missing you, wishing that you were here. I can blame the whole thing on bad timing. Turn back all the clocks to yesteryear. I can try to find the silver lining, but all the colors seems so dull without an ear. But I should have listened, 'cause now I'm here missing you, wishing that you were here.
Boy, barely alive.
Welcome back to the Ascend Tournament Series Season 5 Pinnacle Cup Championship. What a series we had there in the semifinals. 100X Knight take down at Shawnee State University 4-2. This is how our bracket looks now. 100X Knights are into the grand finals. They get to play against the winner of ZekVexol and Midwest Mafia. And coincidentally, it is also our next matchup here. ZekVexol swept Slav Command yesterday. Midwest Mafia sweeping Serenix Esports, but I think we all agree here. This is going to be anything but a sweep here tonight in our final semifinals match.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing these two teams play out. Midwest Mafia and Justice for Solo are probably the two teams that I've had the most experience working with over the past couple weeks, months, years now, casting Rocket League. They are two dominant ones, but I've been talking a lot throughout the pregame show, and now I'm going to talk a lot about it even more. Is the team for Justice for Solo, Peaky just being such a stat leader right now on the offensive defensive side of things, goals, assists, saves. But let me tell you this though, when you look over at the stats, when you look at the leaderboards, the demolition team leader demo ratios right now are being held by the two other members of this Justice for Solo roster, Keeters and 5 stars. That tells me that these people are knocking them out of the way. They're removing any defenders, and then bam, Peaky comes in for the shot. This is a good team synergy, and seeing this kind of stat deviation tells me that the team synergy right there, I said it, is really good with this one.
Well, as we'll take a look at our players here tonight and the lineups for these rosters. Maxine, we saw a lot of Justice for Solo. You were talking a lot about Peaky before this stream and how Peaky needs to get involved for Midwest Mafia. They had a very good day yesterday. Talk to me. What was the who, if any of these players, were the reason why this team was so successful yesterday?
Well, considering Justice for Solo did not have Peaky, I think that Mini played very well yesterday. He was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the top goal scorers for them, and a big help in that 4-0 sweep that they had over Sloth Command.
As you said as well, it was a major reason that this team was successful was Mini. Now, the thing about Midwest Mafia, they may not be the most mechanical team out here, but they are maybe the most cohesive out of the teams in this tournament. You talked about Bebo, Nate, Dylan. That's likely the players that are going to be playing tonight. When you're talking about a team that can all work together really well, that's like a well-oiled machine, you're talking about Midwest Mafia and how this team is playing. Not 100x Night. They've already won. We're not talking about them anymore here, but Midwest Mafia, I mean, they won. They played well, and again, they are a cohesive unit. So, again, as you said, this is a team that can pass, a team that can work together. ZekVexol, I know you didn't get to see Midwest Mafia yesterday, but you've seen this team a lot. That teamwork, that team play, that's going to be what will win them anything here. Talk to me about the strengths and weaknesses that it is, playing that kind of play style, having to play like a team, because that's what Midwest Mafia does, and that's what they do so well, and it's why they are in the top 4 right now, even as this division gets tougher.
Yeah, the top 4 that we have in this tournament, I mean, they're all here for a very good reason. Anybody who's been watching any of these teams, whether it be through ATS or any other leagues, or just seeing these players in your games, in your matches, if you're, that high level, because we got some high level ones on these teams. Let me tell you, teamwork is the big thing that is going to come down to it. And Midwest Mafia is one of the teams that I feel like stands above a lot of the others when it comes to that. I'm looking at those rotations, okay? The ability to sit there and have mans forward, but you're also simultaneously having them back. I mean, you guys don't really see it when you're watching the point of view on the actual games, on these streams, but when we're watching these stat sheets, when we're trying to pay attention to our analyst tools, we can see these members moving on back, slipping on around, always having that member back ready to receive, and it just feels like it creates this Gatling gun of pressure where somebody comes in and strikes, somebody comes in and strikes, somebody comes in and strikes. It's this constant upkeep of pressure, and I feel like that's going to be the one thing that Justice for Solo is going to have to be looking out for.
Yeah, they definitely will have to look out for this one here. This is going to be a very tough matchup to predict, but predict it we will try. I was right last time, so I'm going to go last again. It seemed to work well for me. We'll start with Zach. We'll start with you here first, ZekVexol. Justice for Solo, Midwest Mafia. You've been talking a lot about Justice for Solo, but do you have them winning this one?
I do. I honestly have Justice for Solo going up against 100x Night in the grand finals. I'm going to say 4-1 Justice for Solo.
Ooh, a one-sided matchup here. I know we've talked about how close this series can be. Maxine, who do you have winning this one?
I have to agree with Zek. I think Justice for Solo is going to take this, but I don't agree with the record, really. I think that it will probably be a very close match. I think that it will be a 4-2 win for Justice for Solo. I think Midwest Mafia will do better than you give them credit for.
Well, You say 4-2, ZekVexol says 4-1. I say, give me the cinema here. I want it to go all 7 games. Give me a game 7, and I would also agree with Justice for Solo winning this one. Give me game 7, give me Justice for Solo. You know what, give me game 7 overtime and Justice for Solo. I want to see it. We had it yesterday, but I feel like that overtime, it didn't give us enough here. I want to see a better overtime. I want to see a better matchup here, and I want to see a series that really and truthfully does go the distance here. Game 7, and while we all might be predicting Justice for Solo, I don't think that denies the fact that we all think this series is going to be competitive and one that Midwest Mafia can take. But the question is, will they? We'll have to find out very soon.
Yeah, will they is going to be the big question, okay? I mean, this is going to be a good one nonetheless. Is it going to be team synergy in the fact of rotations, or is it going to be team synergy in the fact of, I'm not going to go back to the previous, suck and strike kind of comments that we ended up making in that last one, but more like this explosive strike composition that Justice for Solo like to bring out onto the table. It's going to be interesting. God. I'm honestly rethinking my 4-1 because these are 2 really good teams that play with teamwork in 2 very different ways.
Did we lose Maxine? I think we lost Maxine here. Maxine may have gone AFK on us. Well, we hopefully get Maxine to reconnect for just a moment here, as well. Yeah, this is going to be I hope a very good series, and hopefully one that will give us everything we want. 100x Night are waiting though, but there's an advantage to where these teams are playing because they play here, because they play second. That momentum that they're going to have after the series, that's going to continue to the finals. Night have to wait. 100x Night do not get the advantage, at least in the terms of that they have to wait for their grand finals. But here in this matchup, whoever wins this, they get a little bit of advantage.
No, Maxine's back. We're good.
I would have to agree with you, Sporty. I think that there's definitely an advantage going into this match for Justice for Solo.
Well, since you are back, Maxine, we all predict Justice for Solo to win, but for Midwest Mafia, we all know that they have a chance to win the series. What's going to be the keys to success for them?
I think that their success will definitely be the man, the magician, the superstar, Peaky. He will certainly peak today.
That's not a Midwest Mafia player. Well, Maxine's so
I heard
focused on Justice for Solo, she already pre-lined up Peaky, who is not on Midwest Mafia. Here, I'm gonna make it easy on all of you. I think it's gonna be Dylan. Dylan was the player yesterday that performed by far the best for Midwest Mafia. He's been involved in a lot of things, but I think the key to success is Nate. Nate really was a lot quieter yesterday than I was expected to see. Now, to be fair, Dylan did so much. I think that he kind of pushed out Nate away from the play, but expecting Nate to play well here in this matchup. Talk to me, ZekVexol, about the kind of stuff that this Midwest Mafia team going to do, what Dylan's going to do, and specifically what Nate now has to do if Dylan can't do what he did yesterday.
We talked about Dylan through the regular season not being much of a stat leader, but show up yesterday he did, okay? And we talked about players who come and make sure they lay it out all on the line. They really show up for these playoffs, and if Dylan's one of those players, that is phenomenal. I mean, he was taking it easy, he was working out, feeling out what he needed to do during the regular season and found his groove. Let's see if that consistency ends up transitioning into today, and it's going to be on the rest of Midwest Mafia to bring themselves up and to meet him there, if not surpass him. Honestly, maybe if you keep him down, but you got to bring yourself up to be above him in order to make that happen, Yeah,
and we are waiting a bit on some technical issues here. Seems like one of the teams having some issues actually getting into the lobby in time, but we'll wait a little bit longer here for them to get into this match. I bet it's just a little bit of practice, a little bit of free play, trying to warm themselves up as well. But again, what a big match this is. Knowing the teams that are playing tonight, knowing the teams that want to be here tonight, knowing the teams that could be here tonight. Midwest Mafia have been here just as long as 100x Night have. They started in Season 3, and they won that season as well, but since then, they've never made the Grand Finals. Now, that's not to say very much, but they haven't made the Grand Finals in any tournament since in ATS, and they played in the Paradise Cup too as well, where they made, I believe, a top 6 finish in that event. They themselves are a team that haven't made the Grand Finals in a while in ATS, and this season, even talked about, wanting to make that Grand Finals, having been away from it for so long. You can feel that hunger for Midwest Mafia. They haven't had it in a while. What does that kind of drive do to a team, ZekVexol?
I think that's kind of something where you look at this team, you're like, okay, you know, they can't really make it, or they show up, they're here, they're kind of pacing that center of the pack thing. But being in this top 4, I think a lot of people are starting to change their mind. And, you know, I honestly hope that Midwest Mafia themselves are going to be the ones to make it happen. This roster right here is going to be the ones to make it happen. When everybody is kind of looking down on you and seeing that you're just some underdog, you know, you're here to just kind of fill in the rest of the upper part. I think that's where you really start to come out and you surprise people. And it builds this sort of growing pressure, growing momentum. I've played some football back in the day growing up. You know, one year we didn't win a single game and it felt pretty bad, but I gotta tell you what we did do. Okay, we grew as a team, we grew as friends, we grew as individuals, we grew as brothers. We came out the next week, the next season, we didn't lose a single game. Okay, we went 0-7 to 7-0 just like that, and it's just because that determination built in our heads. We grew as players, we grew through the hardships, and that allowed us to overcome that adversity.
Yeah, Midwest Mafia had a heartbreaking loss last season, I believe, losing to, I want to say they lost to the Egoists last season in the semifinals. Now, the Egoists aren't here this season, but Midwest Mafia are, and they got another very tough matchup here. Just for solo, they are not favored to win this matchup here, albeit, even though they did very well in getting second in the group, only behind Shawnee State University. Maxine, you've been talking a lot about Peaky. What about Peaky do we need to look out for? Because there's a lot of things about Peaky that we need to look out for. What about Peaky in this match do we need to look out for?
I think we really need to look out for his offensive side. Of course, he is tied with Manny LR of 100x Night for most goals scored, but it's probably just that. He's also topping the leaderboards with assists, goal participation, everything. Just such a very offensively capable player, Peaky is.
I said as well, he's such a capable player, indeed. As again, what a match this will be. But again, some solid players here, some solid teams as well. We've gotten those technical issues sorted out, so let's get into this series. Give us a minute or two to make sure that everybody is fully ready to go. But once we get confirmation, we're getting things sorted out very soon. Sorry for the wait, everybody, as well, but it's ZekVexol and Midwest Mafia.
I think a big thing that Midwest Mafia needs to do, judging by, the regular season stats, keep Peaky off the ball, okay? He is the guy who seems to be doing very well in ball control throughout the entire season. Keep him off the ball, and I feel like that's going to be your opportunity to where you can sit there and use your rotational teamwork to your advantage. Midwest Mafia is definitely the team who's going to be able to do that as well. I mean, we know their teamwork is capable, and we know Justice for Solo kind of plays to their strengths. So you have, like I say, these two teams who have two very different dynamics of how they play their teamwork. Play to your strengths, or just, everybody kind of is able to maneuver around one another very smoothly, as Midwest Mafia does. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I honestly feel like these top 4 teams that we have tonight are definitely here for a good reason. I think it's probably the best 4 teams that we could have for our finals.
Seems like we might be having some tech issues. You there, Maxine? You back?
I am there. I can hear you guys. But yeah, I think this top 4 is definitely one of the best top 4s that we have had in a couple seasons. Very, very competitive. Anyone can win, really.
Very competitive. Anyone can win. It's really going to come down to who comes on in. It looks like the players are getting ready to load on in, and it is going to be game time tonight for our second semifinals matchup. 5 minutes on the clock, a potential 7 games on the board, ladies and gentlemen. It's Justice for Solo versus Midwest Mafia. Game 1 is underway. We got all the issues squared on away, and we're getting on into the action. You got me, ZekVexol, here for the game, and the opening shot goes on in. 10-second goal, Justice for Solo. And now I'll say, Maxine, how you feeling about this matchup and, well, that opening goal?
Well, I think this matchup could potentially be very close, but I think that someone like Peaky, I can't say it enough, will make sure that it is as one-sided as possible. Being the offensive mastermind that he is, I will expect him to come out swinging in the series. You know, in a lot of series, it takes a lot of time for the players to get used to each other. But Nate also coming out with a response goal of his own against Justice for Solo. But as I was saying, I expect in a lot of series that are here on the ATS stream, many players and teams will take a little bit of time to get used to each other, warm up into the game. But these two teams are different. They start off swinging. Peter's almost started off hot himself with a goal of his own, not quite able to do it. Peters from another one on that. Nate is there for the save. Now Peekers going for those solo plays I was talking so much about. Flip reset 50 to hot shot for the shot, saved away by Dylan. The pass to Peters doesn't connect, and now it's the counterattack opportunity for Midwest Mafia.
I want to say 60% of that ball was inside of the goal for Midwest Mafia. That was as close gets right there. Peaky picks it on up. Ding off the top bar. Oh my God, Peters goes for it. The ball's right there again. I see it's as close gets, but then they decide to get a little bit closer. That ball just teetered right on down inside the goal of Midwest Mafia. And I gotta say, they're definitely feeling the pressure right now. Nate trying to clear this one on out. Ball soars right on back over. Goes on down in front. So dropping down, bouncing right on over to Justice for Solo side of the pitch, immediately tapped on back. Ball gets caught off the wall. Peters goes and he's just gonna send it on back. We're gonna do a little bit of reset on our offense for Justice for Solo.
You know, those resets, it is something that you see quite often in these high-level lobbies. They like the time to recoup, give their teammates some time to, you know, rotate back at the boost, get in a good position, especially on those counterattack situations that you're in. Stuck with no boost, with all three players on the other team wanting to score on the net that you are supposed to be guarding is not a good position that you want to be in. Peaky demoed off the play. Dylan, potential offensive chance. Hot shot is up for it. Dylan gonna bang it across. Dylan is there, but no boost. Not able to find the angle, but that's a great pass mid. No one, unfortunately, is there to receive it. Hot shot. Trying to find a pass. Speakers takes possession. Is demoed off of it, but it's a demo from Hot Shot. Not quite in the net, though. The demos are flying for both teams.
Demolition Derby underway. Nate is just running around. He's just playing Hunter Killer Drone right now. Peaky goes for the shot attempt. Nate there on the save. Peters and Peaky both trying to make attempts right now on this goal. And Justice for Solo back on offense. Dylan floating around over the top of the goal, able to swat this one out. Hot shot catches it off the wall. They want to get this pressure going, but it looks like it's going to be tapped on around. Peters floating around midfield and gets it on out. Nate sees an opportunity, but Hot Shot gets a good rotation on back and plays a little bit of defense to keep the pressure going. Ball now floating around this center field. Bellin picks it up, taps it over, and Peters down again. It's Nate. Nate, okay, you know what? We got to keep an eye on this guy. He's playing Hunter Killer Drone right now.
Oh, for sure. Speakers. Out of nowhere, no one expected it.
Where did he come from?
Where did he go?
Where did the ball go? Into the goal for Midwest Mafia. Justice for Solo putting a second one on the board. Now 2-1 with 1:45 left on the clock.
That shot for Peekers, that came out of nowhere. No one expected it. We were talking about the demo attempts from, honestly, both sides of the field. You know, you have to be careful. You have to have the situational awareness of a pro player if you want to survive for any amount of time in this lobby. Peaky gonna throw a shot on net. It's bored down and in. The second goal for Peaky is
Look at this.
there.
Dribble. Oh, well, there's a defender right here. Well, what if I just tap it right over the top of your head? You know, you're a short little car. If it just soars right on up over, you can't get up there, and sure enough, he couldn't. You know what, Maxine? It's 3-1. There's a 2-goal buffer right now for Justice for Solo, and if our last series had anything to say about it, you know, 1 goal, nice and close. These are low-scoring. Okay, you know what? Can I talk about a 2-goal buffer right now, Dylan, before you go and do that? I guess not. It's 1 goal. Back to 1 goal. Justice for Solo still leading with 1:15 to go. You know what, Maxine? You break it down.
Yeah, both of these teams, they are so good offensively, but, you know, every team has their weaknesses, and it seems to be that, you know, last man defense. It is something that both of these teams have honestly been seeming to struggle with. You know, when there's someone last on defense, and it's only that one person. More times than not, they are getting scored on. When some other teams are a little more better at that. There's once again, Peaky, the hat trick, and like I said, one land back in the bell, and it's just flicked right over his head.
Having deja vu right now. Didn't I just see that like 30 seconds ago? That exact movement from the left side of the field goes and just taps it right over defender's head. Peaky with the hat trick is showing exactly why you need to keep the ball out of this guy's hands. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling like, you know what, Nate? You're really good at demos. You're really good at finding people. Just keep Peaky off the board. Just go, roll around, get yourself some boost, and just prevent Peaky from playing the... Is that a valid strategy? I'm not too big on playing the Rocket League myself, but I honestly feel like there could be some worth there.
It is definitely a strategy that works. If they cannot be on the field, there's no way for them to score the ball. It happens a lot in these high level lobbies. I'm surprised Nate hasn't demoed Peaky more than he has this game. But we're back to a 1-goal game. You didn't even have a chance to talk about the 2-goal lead that Justice for Solo had right there. I feel so sorry for you, Zek. But here is Midwest Mafia looking to tie it up. Nate, I didn't even have a 1-goal lead.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Nate sends it on over. Peaky on the defense. Not going to be able to get up there. And I guess Nate was taking one out of Peaky's book right there. Just pop on over, get it over his head. 4-4, all tied up. 20 seconds to go. And Maxine, over under, we go to OT for our first game of the series.
I am definitely picking the over. I think there's a high chance that we're going to go overtime. And honestly, I think it's going to be a long overtime that we have. It's going to be a really long overtime or really short. Both teams will either lock down our defense or have the worst defense that they have ever had in their Rocket League career.
Someone's going to score, nobody's going to score, somebody's going to win, but at the same time, somebody might not win. It's overtime here in our very first game in our second semifinals match of Justice for Solo Midwest Mafia. It's coming in quick, but it ends up dinging off the right post with demos flying left and right. Midwest Mafia was almost on the receiving end of that one. Justice for Solo are coming out swinging right now, and they want to put it on away. I'm expecting something electric here. Hotshot floating on back, picks up the ball, playing a little bit, gonna reset their offensive streak right now, get everybody in a position that they need. Hotshot goes for it, but Bellin ends up finding it in air. Nate now picks it on up. Keeters goes right underneath him. Nate smacks it on down. Peaky in the goal. Bellin keeps it up though off the backboard. Dylan coming in, sends it in off the top back, and he's not able to find it though. Ball coasting in front of the goal. It gets out of there.
What an offensive streak that Midwest Mafia just had, only for them to not even find the back of the net right there. Now Keeters looking to find some success on their offensive side. They started this overtime off extremely hot, barely not able to score a goal. And Peaky looking to change that right here. No boost in the tank for him though. Dylan with the miss. It's a pass to Keeters. And Justice for Solo take game number 1 in overtime. An insane touch from Peaky right there, straight over to Keeters. A 5-4 win for Justice for Solo.
Justice for Solo taking game number 1, but still got a potential 6 more to go. It's a best of 7. Do remember as we get ready to head on over into the second game. And honestly, when you watched last series, it was like 1-2, 2-1, 1-1. It was just like right there. This is 5-4 at the end of this one. I mean, we had one outstanding game in this first series, but man, this is a rally scoring game. And I think it goes to show you that these two teams love their offense. They want to keep up the pressure. And I think we talked about it a lot on the desk, where we have Justice for Solo. You got somebody who is a really high scorer player, loves to have ball control, and you have members on their team who love to demo, who love to just set up, who love to make sure that that ball goes in. And then you look at Midwest Mafia. I think one of the words that I mentioned was a Gatling gun of pressure, where they have these rotations, they're swinging around from behind, and they just keep shoving it down your throat. So two very offensively dominant teams, and I think they're showing it right now with that first game.
Oh, for sure. Both teams in the double digits for shots. Barely. Not double digits for Midwest Mafia right there, but the fact that Justice for Solo saves were so low shows that this Midwest Mafia squad definitely has that counterattack capabilities that they have. You know, they had 8 saves compared to Justice for Solo's 2, so when they get that ball on offense, it is more than likely that they are going to score it for Minwith Mafia. Piki looking to start it off hot once again for Justice for Solo. Not quite able to. So Keters trying to just force a play to happen. Dylan preventing it. Piki with the pre-jump. Hot shot. 1 touch out. Nate is demoed off of the play. Bell gonna get 1 touch. Piki with the challenge. Keters perfectly placed shot top left of the net. What do you think about that, Zach?
What do I think about that? Okay, well, take a look at this right now. Keters from downtown sits there, and you have Piki right there. Look at that, right there, okay? This is the kind of teamwork we're looking for. Piki's like, okay, I see Nate coming up behind me. I know what this guy wants to do, and he's just gonna swat him away like a fly on a summer day, okay? I'm gonna make sure you don't come in, you don't get this save. First one on the board for Justice for Solo. Like I said, we have offensively dominant teams. Those are the kind of plays I expect. Oh, up and down in the goal of Justice for Solo. Way to clear it on out of there.
That was so close. Pixels away from finding its way into the back of the net. Piki, gonna throw another shot onto the net. You know, if those bumps count as assists, he would have 100% goal participation right now in this game. An absolutely amazing shot right over the head of Dylan, showing that offensive prowess once more. You know, not even a minute in, and they're already up 2-0. We know how much you like talking about 2-0 leads.
It's a nice 2-goal buffer, you know. I love 3-goal buffers as well, you know, especially in the. But I feel like 2-goal is more representative of these higher score games. But you know, looking at that last series, I just threw something completely off my head. Looking at that last game, you know, I feel like 2-goal is more than. I'm sorry, you know what? 3-goal, I don't know. There's just the rally scoring, okay, in this series. 2-0, 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go. And it looks like Justice for Solo is on defense. Hotshot tries to pick it on up. V-Bell getting under it, but it's going to get swatted on over to Midwest Mafia's side of the pitch.
Here, that's a reset that Midwest Mafia probably didn't want to experience, really. They had so much offensive pressure. They were, you know, taking all the boost from Justice for Solo, so that reset is something that they honestly didn't want at that moment in time, but you can't really complain about it. You get what you get, and now Justice for Solo on the offensive end of the field. But here we go, Midwest Mafia looking to transition, not able to do it. It's a great 50 from Hotshot. Keters causing some chaos in the back of the net. Now Hotshot, the pass to Piki for the shot. Dylan able to make the goal line save. Keters throws it back into the mix. Piki bumped off of the play. Now Bell gets 1 slight little touch out, giving it straight back to Hotshot. Piki is already up for the shot. It's in. Dylan once again making the save. Piki keeping the offensive pressure on, not quite able to. And Midwest Mafia looking to get it out of their field.
2 minutes 40, shot from the center, and it looks like Keters going to be able to put it on in, and now I can say, hey, look, a 3-goal lead for Justice for Solo, 3-0, with half of our game time remaining here in the second game. Justice for Solo trying to line themselves up for a nice 2-game lead in the series.
A 2-game lead in the series, that is something that is a little bit more comfortable than a 2-goal lead, especially in this series. What a rip from Piki. The second goal for Piki, you know, barely into the start of that next play, and it just is ripped on net, a 4-goal lead. That is a comfortable buffer that you can have in this kind of series where goals are just flying in and out. And, you know, those demos, honestly, probably less frequent than goals at this point.
Man, when it rains, it pours, and for Justice for Solo, I tell you right now, it's hurricane season. Keters is gonna send in the 5th one. Like, I think hurricane season is a good one. It's just raining, it's downpouring, they're getting these goals, they're rally scoring right now, and now it's just stat padding at this point. Guys, they're already dead. Stop beating a dead horse right now. Just play a little defense, let them go.
Oh, the kickoff strat's coming out. The pass to Piki, the offensive man, the flip reset, they able to find the goal line save. You know, Keters just had his hat trick. I guarantee you, Piki looking for one of his own. Hot shot, a wonderful redirect. Piki looking for one of his own off the back wall. It's just some insane offensive showcase from Justice for Solo this game.
Peters keeps it in play. Dylan ends up setting it on down. A minute 50 to go on the clock. Dylan tries to pick it back up. Peters, though, on the defense is going to swat that one across the front face of the goal. Nate wanting to keep up the pressure, though. Hot shot meets it over up top. V-Bell sends it, but Peaky is there to knock it on away. Ball still coasting on down. Midwest Mafia wants their turn at offense, and honestly, I can't blame them. We have a minute and a half to go. It's 5-0 for Justice for Solo, and honestly, I think at this point, you're sitting in the comms, you're like, okay, you know what? We got to make up 5 goals to tie, 6 to take the lead. Focus on the 5, obviously, to get yourself into overtime and hope for the best, but you got to be sitting there in comms like, okay, guys, let's just recollect ourselves. Let's just try to play some smooth gameplay for the rest of this game, and let's talk about what we need to be doing on next one, because 5 goals, quite a stretch right now with a minute to go. Make it 4. Make it 4 right there, as Dylan is going to just keep up the pressure, dribble across the field. Nate goes to swat one away, and Dylan goes and finishes it on off. First one on the board for Midwest Mafia here in game number 2. Now 5-1 for Justice for Solo.
5-1 indeed. You know, a 5-goal lead, perfect. 4-goal lead, a little less perfect. It is definitely something that you can recover from. Oh, but the play from Peters barely saved away by Bell. And, you know, when you're in this kind of position, you're not really expecting to win this game, but what you want to do as a top-level player is just not focus about the game, but focus about the next goal in mind. Have that in mind. You know, you want to score as much as you can in this game, even if it means that you don't win, because it means that you still have that fight in you to want to win the next one.
30 seconds to go before we get to the next one. Time ticking down for Midwest Mafia. Justice for Solo. What a dominant performance here in game 2. And it's like, oh man, they got 5 goals. You know, it's so much. I think something changed between game 1 and game 2 because, hey, they had a lot there as well. And it was just defensive play, or is it just the fact that they kept up the ball? No, I honestly feel like they started to really work their defense a lot better and lock down those opportunities. Game number 2, Justice for Solo, ladies and gentlemen. What an exciting start right now for Justice for Solo. 2-0 in the series.
A timeout is called by Dylan over at Midwest Mafia. They have a minute on top of the minute they have between games. You know, honestly, I don't blame them for taking this timeout. You know, only scoring 1 goal compared to the 4 from the previous game when Justice for Solo still scored 5 this time. You know, that defense for Justice for Solo, it is looking much better than the previous game. They had an insane number of saves compared to the last game. They only had 2 last game. In this game alone, Peaky had 2 saves of his own, along with Keter having 2 and Hotshot having a 3 for a combined total of 7 saves. To the, 11 shots from Midwest Mafia.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it just seems like Justice for Solo really pulled their defense together and were able to just prevent. I don't even know if it was like, okay, yeah, you know, you had the shots and saves, but was it really just the fact that the opportunities weren't really there? Like, it was the pressure rotate so good for Justice for Solo. There's a lot on my mind on how that would win, but I gotta say a much cleaner game for Justice for Solo, and the ball is in Midwest Mafia's court right now. And we talked in the first series about how to shut down the pressure of an opposition team. It's 2-0 right now in this series. You gotta shut down this pressure. You gotta shut down the momentum from Justice for Solo. And it's going to be up to Midwest Mafia to do it.
Yeah, that, you know, if Midwest Mafia is not able to slow down this Justice for Solo trio, I honestly don't blame them. You know, the amount of skill that they have is just, it's really incomprehensible. If you aren't already familiar with Rocket League, it is very hard to overcome a team like Justice for Solo that if they don't, who can blame them? You know, they are so hot right now that they just look like an unstoppable force.
Oh, a double demolition right out of the gate means we're in for another explosive match. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes back on the clock. The timeout is over and game 3 is here. Here we go. Ball down over on Justice for Solo side of the pitch, playing a little bit of defense right out of the gate. Midwest Mafia looking clean, double push right now coming on in, but Nate not able to finish that one on off. Ball soars on down to Midwest Mafia side of the pitch and volleys on. Okay, you know what? We're not playing car soccer anymore. We are playing volleyball at this point. Maybe a little bit of tennis, whichever. Maybe I think tennis is probably better for volleying, right?
You know, when teams are playing that boomer ball, man, it is that tennis play style, and sometimes for some teams it does work, but a lot of teams prefer to have that more slow, controlled play style. Peaky barely able to reach back and make that save. Dylan cuts off Nate. That's Bell off the back wall. Keeters does take possession, does win the 50, but Nate is there to collect it. The flip reset over one. The double tap does not come out. Hot shot has the save. Dylan puts it back in for Bell. The shot is on target, but Peters is there for the save. Justice for Solo is definitely looking to break out of their side of the field right now. Tiki is good on defense, but how good of defense can he have when they are on defense for approaching like a minute and a half here now already?
All 3 members of Justice for Solo floating in and around the goal. Dylan finds an opening though and takes it. And for the first time this series, Midwest Mafia is on the board first. We'll see if that timeout pays off. I gotta say, this is a much slower game so far than the first 2.
A much slower game indeed. They're playing a lot more methodically. They are more careful about their touches. They are trying to make sure that their touches have purpose. They do not just want to get a random touch on the ball. That's for the sake of getting a touch on the ball. Because what use is that? They're trying to make sure that their touches have a purpose, some kind of use. They're trying to make sure that it makes them awkward or gives them some offensive pressure. And right now, the offensive pressure from Justice for Solo is just so overwhelming. Another beautiful goal, this time off of the pass from Keeters. Hotshot is able to make the double tap, just threading the needle between the last 2 defenders.
That spike on down, and did you see Hotshot just redirect himself? He's like moving towards the ball. He sees the setup coming, okay? Or it was just comms. I'm gonna guarantee it was probably just comms. And he immediately flicks over and gets ready to receive it, okay? That is great positioning for Justice for Solo, but now they're back on defense. Ball over in the corner, their side of the pitch, floating across the goal. Hotshot's there, gets redirected, and V-Bell puts it on in. Midwest Mafia like, okay, you know what? We'll take the first one, we'll give it back to you, but we are going to be taking that lead right on back 2-1 with 2 minutes 49 seconds to go left here in game number 3.
Game number 3 is looking like a mirror image of game number 1. The thing is, all mirrors, they show you a reversed image of what is. And this time it is the reverse of what happened. They are going back and forth with the goals, but it always seems to be Midwest Mafia coming out on top of this game. Tiki looking to change it. Nate keeps the ball in play. The sidewall redirect, pops it up high. Heaters leaves it for Hotshot. A smarter play right there, goes off the ceiling. Dylan stops him, but Peaky is there for the shot. It's awkward. Nate able to make the save. Now Hotshot off of the corner, takes possession. Very controlled, very slow play right there. Peaky is there for the shot, able to squeeze it in, not quite. Keeters doesn't have the follow-up touch. Hotshot forced to reset.
I'm watching Nate, good thing he got that save, because we're watching Dylan. He's like floating on down. He's like, guys, I'm in free fall. I got nothing for this. Nate getting behind, that was so good. So fortunate, because otherwise Justice for Solo would have tied us right back on out. But they're down right now. Hotshot sends it across, and with the assist from their own team, ball goes on in. Justice for Solo. There's the tie back up that we were looking for. Take a look at this one. Hotshot right across the center. Unfortunate by Dylan. That ball goes on in 2-2 with a minute 45.
Minute 45 left on the clock. These teams are tied up. This is the closest game that we have seen so far. At this point of game number 1, it was like a, four goal game on both sides of the field. And this time it's a 4-goal game in total. Peter's looking for the pass to Peaky for the shot. Nate is there for the save. Now Bell clears it out. Hotshot keeps the ball in play. Bell is there for the receiving end of it. The sidewall read. It's an open net. Can Dylan score? No, he can't. It's a little high, and now the counterattack for Justice for Solo. Can they find any opportunity. No, they cannot.
Ball tapped on over by Nate. Just gonna float on by Vivo, looking for some positioning. Dylan catches it off the wall, but Peaky ends up picking it on up. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. There's the 60-second warning coming in now. 60 seconds left on the clock. Ball down over Justice for Solo's side of the pitch, playing a little bit of defense. V-Bell wants to keep up the pressure, but Heaters ends up swatting it on out. Dylan catches it in air, though, tries to receive it. Peaky, though, sends it to the backboard. Hotshot comes in from behind and isn't able to get it. V-Bell is going to be able to swat that one on out of there. Here comes Keeters, though. Past one, past two, past three members of the Midwest Mafia defense. Puts it on in and gives us a 3-2 score with 39 seconds left to go. And we said this is a close game. It's been a low-scoring one. And let me tell you, that one goal might be the difference maker.
The difference maker, indeed, that it might be, you know, in those first two games, Justice for Solo have scored as many goals as there have been this game so far. With 5 goals this game, it's a lot closer of a competition. That last goal could have been the nail in the coffin, though. Peaky trying to add one more, trying to, you know, give them a little bit of a crash pad to land on if they do concede another goal. Hot shot for the challenge. Bell clears it out with a great touch as well. Peaky trying to take control. Peters is there in support. Now Peaky is there. Peaky finds the beat. Bell shuts him down. Bell for the shot. Hot shot blocks it away. Now Peaky's just trying to kill it. Dylan keeps it up. Nate is there for the receiving end. Bell pops it up. Dylan needs to go there. Will it bounce up? It will. They get lucky. Hot shot clears it a long way and it hits the floor. Justice for Solo survive the timeout and go up 3-0 in this series.
3-0, Justice for Solo feeling pretty good right now in our second semifinals matchup of the ATS Pinnacle Cup. A very close one compared. I mean, you know what? Game one, I gotta say, was close. I mean, it went all the way into overtime, but it was just such a rally scoring game. It just so much going on. I feel like these teams are starting to like rein it on in and get a good idea of each other. And I think this game shows it the best. But it's going to come down to this. Maxine, if I can do math correctly, I believe we're on match point right now for Justice for Solo.
Your math is in fact correct. We are in match point for Justice for Solo, meaning that Midwest Mafia, if they want a chance to stay alive and get a piece of that prize pool, they have to win every single game from now on until the end of the series. They have to complete a reverse sweep, which is a very rare feat, even in all of Rocket League. It's so hard to do, but it is not impossible. We almost saw it yesterday with arguably the best series of yesterday. The KCG Chaos and Shawnee State University almost reverse sweep. Chaos was not able to complete it. Let's see if Midwest Mafia has what it takes to do it in game number 4.
Well, Midwest Mafia better head on over to the Broom Closet and get ready for a reverse sweep. Midwest Mafia fans at home, let them know you're here to support them. Shout out for your team right now. I know they can't hear you, but when they watch back the VOD later, they're going to see that you guys are there coming out to support them and let them know you want that Game 7 Champions Field. It all comes down to this, though. Match point, Justice for Solo leading 3-0 in the series of your second semifinals matchup for the ATS Pinnacle Cup. Who is going to be moving on to the grand finals to meet the already waiting 100X Knight? Justice for Solo says it's going to be us. They take the first goal here, 35 seconds into game number 4.
Justice for Solo has to hold off for 4 minutes and 25 seconds to meet 100X Knight in the grand finals. Midwest Mafia has 4 minutes and 20 seconds. If they want a chance to stay alive and as win or go home right now for when the Midwest Mafia, they have to score, and already being at a deficit is not good, let alone a 2-goal deficit. Peaky throws a cheeky "you have time" into the quick chat along with his lead.
See that? The redirect right there into the demo. The redirect causes one defender to miss. The demo comes in, great, open goal. Peaky's like, oh, well, thank you. Don't mind if I do. And just puts it on in. Hey, Maxine, there's that 2-goal buffer that we wanted to talk about so much. We'll see if it lasts, though, here in game number 4. Justice for Solo feeling electric tonight.
if this game is as close as game number 3, which it seems to not be. This 3-goal buffer, your mistake,
Yeah,
might
my
be
bad.
all
Yeah.
it takes. As that last game, all Justice for Solo had to do was score 3 goals. And look, a minute and 7 seconds in, they already have done it again. The AF kickoff comes out, losing a book out of GK's strategy. Oh, and it doesn't work out for them. Just like in RLCS, it does not work out. VBell tacks one in with the assist from Nate. A great pass right there.
I think there's something to say about guys close it out. You know, let's rein it in. We're feeling pretty good. I get it, but you know, sometimes being BM isn't the best you know, maybe it was a legitimate strategy, you know, maybe, but it allowed Midwest Mafia to close the gap just a little bit, and there's still a lot of game left. You guys got your first 3 goals within 60 seconds, you know. There's still another 4 minutes of gameplay still to go. Now 3.5 minutes, but the gap is a little bit closer, you know. 3-1, Justice for Solo still leading, but Midwest Mafia ready to claw right back.
They are ready to respond. Midwest Mafia, they need to show that they still have some fight left, but can you really have fight if you're not even in the play? Those bumps and demos will be the death of Midwest Mafia, but they can also be the life of them. What a save with the help of 2 defenders right there. Peaky gets past one. Bell for the counterattack. Hot shot. Forced to catch, forced to reset. Dylan trying to make sure that he is on the positive side of history right here with the reverse sweep. Hot shot. Looking to deny it. Not a lot of boost in the chamber, though. Able to beat 2. Bell is last back, but able to make the save off a Peaky shot.
Man, that ball just coasted right across the front end of the goal. Not able to find it, though. 2 defenders were able to clear it on a way. Halftime here in game number 4 in your match point game. And it all comes down to Midwest Mafia to bring it on back. Still 3-1. Keeters, though, ends up picking it on up. Hotshot wants to keep the ball in play. 3 defenders from Midwest Mafia are trying their best to get it on out of there. Nate taps it off the edge. Peaky not able to get behind it. Hotshot picks it up. V-Bell holding on out, chilling on above. Dylan swats it on away. Peaky picks it in the corner, but Nate is finally able to clear it on out of there and hopefully play a little bit of offense themselves. Nate taps it across. The ball soars up over the top. Hotshot carries it and gets it out of there.
That's a great play to get the offensive ball rolling for Justice for Solo. You know, if they stay on offense for the rest of this game, that means that they have secured this game with an open net for Keeters and back to a 3-goal buffer.
Oh, open goal. Yeah, there's a 3-goal buffer we're talking about. Right on back, you said it yourself very clearly. A minute and a half to go, and Justice for Solo just walked over to the time clock, and they punched their ticket, I feel like, for that finals, that grand finals, for their shot at that grand prize. They are just dominant right now. I know I said 4-1, but they're wanting to make it 4-0 here tonight.
You know, everyone predicted that Midwest Mafia would get at least 1 game. Personally, I predicted at least 2, but right now it looks like they might not get a single one. This is a statement for Justice for Solo right now. The 4-1 lead, it is not impossible to come back for that, but when you have a team as good offensively as Justice for Solo, it is a very hard comeback to make, even with such skilled players such as Dylan, Bell, and Nate. They are simply outshined on defense with Peter and Peaky in play.
45 seconds to go. Peaky just coasting on around, goes for a little bit of a reset, but ball dribbled on over to Midwest Mafia side of the pitch. Nate picks it on up. Dylan taps it over the top. A hot shot. Peaky is there. Open goal, though, now. 30 seconds to go. Unable to secure the shot on that one. Midwest Mafia. Ball in front of their goal. Keeters puts it on in. Peaky wanted to strip that one away from his own teammate, but wasn't successful. Keeters now with a hat trick here in game number 4. And, You know, I talked about how they probably punched their ticket already. I feel like the nail in the coffin is made. Justice for Solo, 5-1, 20 seconds to go. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our second finalist to go up against 100X Knight in the grand finals of the ATS Pinnacle Cup.
And what a grand finals that it will be. 100X Knight, such a great team. You know, all of them are very good players. You know, I would even consider them to be bubble pros, like some bubble pros even. So definitely a challenge for Justice for Solo. So we will see you then. I can't wait for that. But before we go, how do you feel about this matchup in the semifinals? This Justice for Solo and Midwest Mafia matchup?
I said it, you know, when we were back on the desk. I feel like both of these teams have that team-oriented synergy in their own way, okay? But Justice for Solo just came out swinging, and they were ready to fight, okay? A rally score of a first game, an absolute dominant performance in game 2, and now again in game 4, a very close one in game number 3. And I just gotta say, Justice for Solo, they're showing up, and they're gonna be going up against someone who they faced earlier on in the season, 100X Knight in the grand finals for their shot at that $200 grand prize, a $300 prize pool overall. They want the bigger one, because I guarantee you I do too. I mean, like, hey, if you go, you're here, you made it this far, go all the way, strip away that grand champion title from the returning champions. The question is, can they make it happen? Will they make it happen? 100X Knight, good luck to you. We're going to be seeing once we get on over to the grand finals as you face off against Justice for Solo. But before we get there, we're going to go to a quick intermission. We'll be right back with your grand finals matchup in just a few minutes.
So what you got?
I'm exhausted tonight 'cause I can't sleep. No, I can't sleep. I'll just lie awake tonight 'cause I can't sleep without you beside me. But I can't sleep. But I can't sleep. But I can't sleep. I'm exhausted tonight 'cause I can't sleep. No, I can't sleep. I'll just lie awake tonight 'cause I can't sleep without you beside me. But I can't sleep. 'Cause 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 the speed of sound. Like silver lights that shift into new paradigm. Little child, living wild. Where do you go when you sleep at night? Can you reach the sky? Walk on fire. Where do you go when you're dreaming? Dreaming. When you're dreaming. Where do you go when you're dreaming? Tell me, where do you go? Tell me, where do you go? Tell me, where do you go?
This is the moment that you all have been waiting for. The grand finals, the championship match. 2 teams remain. Justice for Solo, 100x Knights, and the end of the Pinnacle Cup. $300 up for grabs. I'm Sporty of Smee. Joining me here is ZekVexol and Maxine. And here we go. One more best of 7 for all the marbles and for all of the best of 7s. Justice for Solo, 100x Knights. What a tournament it has been. But before we go to our grand finals, we got to recap what we have seen from them. So what we've seen from both these teams so far. It's been it would look like an easy night for Justice for Solo. 2 sweeps over Slump Command and Midwest Mafia, but I've got to say, from their last matchup, they absolutely have elevated more than we saw from them yesterday here, Maxine. And I mean, for Justice for Solo, they are, again, playing better than they were yesterday. And yesterday they were already playing pretty well, but tonight they're playing like a team that is determined to win this thing.
Oh, for sure. They are 100% determined, 100% confident that they will win this thing, but they have a pretty big hurdle to jump if they want to. 100x Knight has been so good this entire playoff run, starting off with the sweep against Sloth Dark, and then a 4-2 win over Shawnee State University. He was the only team to be undefeated in the regular season. They are a great team, but we will have to wait and see if they can overcome that hurdle.
Said as well, a major hurdle ahead here. 100x Knights 4-2 over Shawnee State. A tough matchup for this team, but they won last season. They're trying to do what has only been done once before in ATS history, and that was win 2 championships in 2 seasons. We have not seen even a team win 2 championships since Season 1, back when Evolved Skylight did it after winning both Season 0 and Season 1 of the Ascension Cup. Only one team is on that elite list of teams that have won multiple league championships. 100x Knight are only 4 wins away from doing the same. ZekVexol, the moment he's here for Knight, the moment is now for Knight. It feels like a team that can add themselves to a very short list of teams that have made history, but Justice for Solo, the toughest competition yet this event. For Knight, knowing this Knight roster, do you think that, having won the championship before, do you think that's in their heads right now? Do you think they're thinking about that past championship win, or is this a complete clean slate for them? Do you think this is a completely new series?
Any high-level competitive players looking at this, every single time I go into a new game, it's 0-0. 5 minutes on the clock, okay? 0 is in the scores, 0 is in the series. You start over fresh. You don't dwell on the past wins. You don't dwell on the past losses. Use that all for experience and keep moving forward. And I want to see that from 100x Knight because, as Maxine said, this is going to be a hurdle for Justice for Solo, given that 100x Knight, they got some really great players on their roster. But I have to point out, too, This is a hurdle that Justice for Solo has already vaulted over back in week number 5 of our regular season. These are two teams from Group A, played off against each other, and 100x Knight ended up becoming the ones on the bad end of that. Justice for Solo beat them out 3-2 back in that week 5 matchup. So this is going to be a hurdle, but these two teams have played each other in the past. They do have that understanding. The question is this going to be a consistent thing? Justice for Solo, are they going to take another step over this one and just put 100x Knight down, or is this a revenge matchup for 100x Knight?
Yeah, it really feels like it could be a revenge net matchup for Knights, but this is a Knight roster that only seems to get better during these playoffs, during these final bracket moments. It's a Knight roster that has played well tonight, has played better than they did yesterday tonight against a very tough Shawnee State University competition. But this is at the grand finals, and in a moment we're going to get to see these rosters as well on the screen for who's going to be playing, but we've seen a lot of players play well tonight. Both of you got to see that last series. Maxine, for Justice for Solo, who's that player that you think we got to watch out for? Who's that player that is right now playing at the very best and is, really the leader on Justice for Solo for that MVP award position?
Well, to be honest, I cannot say it enough. I have said it before. I will say it again now. Jared has been the man to look out for. He did not perform particularly the best during the regular season, but, everyone has their bad weeks. And right now, Jared is in one of his best. He has been unshakable. He has been proving himself throughout this entire playoff run.
Well, that's the second time tonight here Maxine has heard the wrong team from me so far here. Well, Maxine already answered 100x Knight for me. You got to see the Justice for Solo team play ZekVexol. Who was playing well enough that series that you think is likely to see that MVP award tonight?
Well, I talked a lot earlier about Peaky and how he performed during the regular season. I think he looked really great in that last matchup as well, being a good dominant one in terms of just ball control. But I cannot look away from Keeters, okay? I felt like where Peaky was, Keeters was always just one step behind, if not there, if not surpassing. He did end up getting that hat trick in that last game. He was very key on a lot of the setups. I feel like both of these players are going to be on the forefront of my mind, but the roster as a whole for Justice for Solo has been good. I gotta say, Peaky in terms of long term, but Keeters has shown up today.
It definitely has been yeah, and you're right, Keeters has shown up today, and he's not one of their starters, he's their sub. That's the crazy thing about it as well. He is the number 5 player on that roster, whereas 100x Knight, they're playing with the 3 players they've played with all season. The pair of Scope, Jared, and Manny Alar, Justice for Solo with Hot Shots, Peaky, and Keeters, and a grand finals just ahead of us here. But Justice for Solo, 100x Knight, we're only moments away from getting this series started. Let's get to predictions here. Let's get back to our faces, let's get back to predictions, and let's choose who we think will win this one. We're going to start with you, ZekVexol. For all the matches tonight that you've gotten seen in the semifinals, does 100x Knight win their second championship in 2 seasons, or does Justice for Solo win their second time this season against 100x Knight for all of the tournaments that we've seen so far for the championship? Will it be Justice for Solo, or will it be 100x Knight? You got to make your choice. The floor is yours. Who do you think's winning this one?
Justice for Solo ended up coming out on top, went all the way back in week number 5, went to Champions Field. Okay, that was a long set run. This one, I feel like it's going to be close. I don't feel like it's going to be that close. I feel like this is a pretty big statement I'm going to be making, but I am feeling 4-2 Justice for Solo. Just the performances today that I've been witnessing, plus past record. 100x Knight has shown me that they can waver. Their matchup against Shawnee State showed me that they can waver, they can bleed, and Justice for Solo, oh my goodness, okay? They are putting up large scores tonight, okay? 2 of them being absolute shutouts in their games, 5-0. It's like, come on. They showed up to play, and I feel like 4-2 Justice for Solo tonight.
Maxine, you've gotten to see both these teams, you've gotten to see the rise of 100x Knights, and they look like they're really not falling any further, but can Justice for Solo be the ones to take them down?
I am a strong believer in the rematch theory, and I cannot break that belief now. I believe 100x Knight will be the second team in ATS history to win 2 seasons back-to-back. I have 100x Knight winning this series. And in how many? I think it will be a very close game. Both of these teams are very strong, but I think 100x Knight is the stronger team. I think it will be a 4-3 champions field victory for 100x Knight.
We haven't seen a Game 7 Grand Finals in this division since it started in Season 3. We've only gotten as far as 6 games, and I'd like to see a Game 7 as well, but it's a tough one. I gotta pick the tiebreaker though between all the casters and analysts on this desk. So I guess the time to break that tie is now, and I've gotta say it. I have 100x Knight winning this as well. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go to 7 though. I think it's going to be a 6-game series. But I do have 100x Knight making history this evening, and well, what history it would be for them to make it. But we're just moments away from getting this series going, and boy, what have these teams have had to make it this far? What a night it has been for all of them. We're just about ready to get ourselves into the series. But next night, just for solo, we've got players all over the place that are leading, players that can lead, players that have done their job so far tonight. Not only will this be champions, not only will this be the, after this we'll have a winner crowned, we'll also have our MVP decided as well. Boy, this is going to be a great evening. It's going to be a great match, a great series, and a great showing. Justice for Solo 100x Knights, and I mean, before we get into this one, ZekVexol, you've got Justice for Solo winning this one. What do you think? What do you think allows Justice for Solo to, win this series? What about their semifinals they just played is going to allow them to have the advantage over 100x Knight?
They come out quick, they come out swinging, and 100x Knight shows that if they're on the back foot too quickly, it's not going to be fun. And Justice for Solo wants to keep up that pressure. They want to keep shoving it down your throat. 100x Knight show that if that is the case, they're like, hey, guys, well, what's going on? They maybe start to waver a little bit. I mean, we kind of even saw them wanting to just call the game and go on to the next one when the deficit got too large. To me, it says that Justice for Solo, if they can come out swinging, and we've talked about it too with 100x Knight, if Justice for Solo comes out early, comes out swinging, comes out hard, then I see that it being the winning factor right there. 100x Knight's going to be tripping over, trying to struggle to recover.
Well, we'll see about that one here. A lot to say about 100x Knight now, Maxine. Coming into this series, what do you think is going to be their plan to success? I mean, we've seen Justice for Solo. This team has been tough to beat. They lost to them earlier. What's going to give 100x Knights the advantage in a grand finals that is going to really test everything they have?
I think the advantage that they have is the fact that, Justice for Solo has that really good offense, but what good of an offense can you have when you can't even get them on offense? This 100x Knight squad is so hard to get on defense. We saw it happen with Sloth Bark. They could barely score. They could barely get them stuck on defense. And so I think that is really gonna be a deciding factor in the series, is the fact that 100x Knight, they are so good. They have such good midfield control.
You talk about the mid, and that was one of the major advantages as well. But in a match like this, it's going to really come down to a whole lot of things. We haven't seen that many crazy goals tonight, to be fair. I know I don't usually ask about what player is going to be the most mechanical, because it's usually not the most mechanical players that win every single season. But in a match like this, what players do you have as being those mechanical masterminds, Maxine?
I think I'll choose one for both teams, because both teams are both good. I think that the obvious answer for both teams is, of course, Pinnacle, the goal scorer for 100x Knight, and, of course, Peaky for Justice for Solo.
Well, I love what you're saying there. There really are so many great players, so many great storylines, and the stories continue ever more. The championship, the grand finals, all that you could ever wish for will now come true for only one of these teams. History hangs in the balance. 100x Knight doing something that has not been done since Season 1 of the Ascend Tournament Series, and never in the Pinnacle Cup's history. Justice for Solo, their first season, they were able to beat Knight earlier. Can they do it again in the grand finals? They're on the blue. Knight, the defending champions, on the orange. One more best of 7 and a champion to be crowned.
As we get into this game, there's 5 minutes on the clock, and Perry already starting good for 100x Knight. That is exactly what they needed. We were talking about if Justice for Solo could start off hot, they could maybe get onto 100 Knight's head, but what good is starting off hot if you are the ones getting scored on? 100x Knight take an early 1-goal lead.
As you said as well, an early lead for the defending champions and one of the most aggressive teams this season. An early goal for Perscope. Manular. Perscope. Stopped by Keeters in the midfield. Now goes Jarrett. Hot shot is bait. Jarrett's got some room, but it will be Peaky waiting back. And Peaky with a little bit of chain dashing just to get away from the play. Going to use as much of that speed he can, but 100x Knight right now outpacing Justice for Solo. As they'll have to play again more. Knight. Jarrett the challenge. Keeters won't have this one. Hotshot doesn't have it either. Peaky has got to go all the way back to defense. And right now, Justice for Solo meeting the same fate that Shawnee State met earlier. They can't get out of their own half of the field.
Yeah, this 100x Knight team, they are just so suffocating to play against. They just are unrelentless when it comes to their offense. They just keep putting shot after shot on net, and the fact that their midfield control is just so good does not help the other team whatsoever. A lot of these teams with good defense, or with good offense, is they are able to get out of their side of the field so easily. But against a team like 100x Knight, it's hard. But as I say this, there is Kiki with a very good beat after the members of 100x Knight are bumped completely out of the play.
In fact, they weren't even bumped by Justice for Solo. They ran into each other. There, Manular and Perscope, I believe, in that play, both ran into each other. 100x Knights with a breakdown in that rotation, and if there's any breakdowns, you know Justice for Solo will be waiting to take advantage. But they'll need to find more than just mistakes. 100x Knight are not a very mistake-prone team. You're not going to get a lot of goals against them that way. You're really not going to get a lot of goals against either of these teams that way. It's going to come down to how you perform, really, on how you make their offense work. As Justice for Solo on the offense now. Jay Forrest upfield as Peaky gets the demo. Jared. Perscope won't read this one, and slow moving down the field. That actually is a bad touch for Peaky. Keeters has got to get back, and that's a great block, denying what would have been a 2-1 lead for 100x Knight. Getting in the way. It was an awkward rotation for Justice for Solo and an even more awkward block, but you talked about Keeters. He has had quite the final bracket for a player that's really slipped under the radar in the regular season. Tonight has been his night to perform.
Yeah, if I did not mishear you earlier, I would have said Keeters 100%. He played spectacular last series, and even now, the fact that he was there for that first series of this playoff bracket just adds to his value so much. But as I say that, Jared, my prediction for 100x Knights playoff MVP, packs one of his own onto the board, making his way around the defenders fairly limitlessly.
He finds ways to easily break people down, and he finds ways to make offense happen. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist so far. Both of the 2 goals this game for 100x Knight have been courtesy, at least in part, due to what we to Jared and his actions. But this is still a night ongoing here as hot shots to keep it away. Perscope will take his time. Will clear this one out as here goes Jared. Flip reset. Jared flip reset on will be saved by Peaky. Manular jumps in. 100x Knights will not find their opening just yet. Perscope stopped by Keeters. Will stay in front of the net here as it is Perscope again. Kept up for Jared as Knights keep the press going, and for Justice for Solo, I don't think they're used to playing this far back on their as well, playing this defensively. The way they're going to win, at least with the way they're playing right now in Game 1, it's not going to be from pressure, it's going to be from counterattacks, because right now, the pressure they're having is minimal compared to what Knight is doing against them. As an open net, this is going to be 3-1! Perscope takes it! Knights have a 2-goal cushion!
A 2-goal cushion is plenty for a team like 100x Knight, but against a team like Justice for Solo, it is definitely something that is able to come back from. You know, they were able to score so much against Midwest Mafia, but Midwest Mafia is a completely different team compared to 100x Knight. 100x Knight's defense is just so good, and right now they're getting comfortable going for those pre-jump passing plays. Doesn't work out for them in the end, though, as Hotshot now has the counter-attack opportunity. Keeters off the back wall. Jared is there for the save, and then the follow-up bangs it all the way out. Periscope jumps for it. Hotshot shuts it down. Manny clears it out. Peaky takes possession. Solo play. This is not what you want if you're on 100x Knight defense. The beat. Crossbar down, and it's out. Periscope is there for the clear, and Hotshot can't find the way to it.
just on the goal line, hanging right in front of the net of 100x35. They'll go upfield again, though, up by 2, but still not done with game 1. Jared looking to get through. Peaky can't get around him here. Briscoe around, infield wide open, and Jared scores another 4-1, and surely that's the goal to win game 1 for 100x Knights.
Surely it is. That was probably the final nail in the coffin, unless one of the nails was missed. And there is a way that Justice for Solo can break out. I don't know a way, and I doubt they do either, although they are better than me. Anything can happen, but Manuel looking to stop it. Jared helps him out as he misses that net, but there it is, the hat trick for Jared, the 4-goal lead with 21 seconds left against a team like 100x Knight. That is something that is not comebackable.
No, this 100x Knight team's defense, it's been the real underdog of, the real, I guess, dark horse of 100x Knight has been their defense. This is a team that has historically had a rough defense at times. The defense is good, but it has had their issues before. But tonight, it's been perfect. And Justice for Solo having to meet that perfect defense in a game 1 that really wasn't all that close. 100x Knight tearing them to shreds as they almost make it 6-1. In front of the net still will be Hotshot, who clears it away, and he'll look to let this game die out. Justice for Solo getting a real handful with this match against 100x Knights. And in game 1 of our grand finals, 100x Knight, not only did they win, they won comfortably.
Won it comfortably indeed, Sporty. They just completely dominated that game. They outshot them, outsaved them. If they had more shots, they probably would have outsaved them, I should say. But when you're on defense all that time, you know, those saves will add up, but only 5 saves compared to the plentiful amount of shots that came out from 100x Knight. It is just not enough. And the 5-1 victory for 100x Knight does come out. Not a good position you want to be in, especially against a team like 100x Knight, where honestly, such a momentum-based team, if they can get their momentum going, it is so hard to stop.
It can be hard to stop this team when they have that momentum continuing through. And against Knights, Justice for Solo, one of the reason why they were able to beat them in the regular season was because they were able to shut that momentum down. Now, they did lose game 1 in that series, but they were able to, I believe, win game 2 and game 3. So this is a Justice for Solo team that knows that if they can beat Knight, they can win games early in the series and put the pressure on them. So far, though, no one's really been able to do that. Shawnee State got close, but they didn't do enough. Justice for Solo, I mean, I know this is not a must-win game for them. It feels must-win. If you really want to get the best chance, the good chance to take down 100x Knight, it's gonna have to come down. It's gonna come down to taking wins early. And game 2 really feels like after you've had a game to, get used to 100x Knight, this is where you've got to make those adjustments and you've got to shut them down once and for all.
Oh, 100%. You have to make those adjustments right now, or at least after a timeout. But there it is. The adjustments come out. The midfield pass from Peaky to Keeters connects, giving them the first goal of the game 2 and the first lead that they have seen this series.
1 goal already, a miss in the corner as well for Knight only makes things even worse for them. But this grand final still has a lot more time to go, and Justice for Solo have a lot more in that bag of tricks of theirs. 1 goal will not be suffice as Jared looking to go the other way. Peaky, who doesn't get the touch. He was hoping that someone would jump low earlier there, but nothing made as Keeters to clear. Briscoe leaves it. Peaky's got the ball. He's a scary player tonight, but Jared reading his pass to Hotshot, and Manuel will, well, he didn't get the power he wanted, but he will get rid of the play as near the net. Jared's got to be patient. Hotshot back wall, no second touch. It's Briscoe to the side. Briscoe with time, with a play, with a pass in front, with Manuel. Jared, oh, he won't shoot. He didn't take his chance, and it will be Justice for Solo the other way back.
Both of these teams are, when they get momentum, it's so hard to stop them. And right now, I feel like that 100x momentum is being stopped right now by Justice for Solo. A lot more mistakes coming out of this game. Jared not making that shot when he definitely could have scored. And, those mistakes, those misses on defense are causing them to stay on that defensive side more. As you said, it is definitely not their strong suit. They would much rather be on offense, or at least be in that midfield controlling the play. But when you're on defense like that, it's so hard to do. I consider both of these teams unstoppable objects. And, you have to be an unmovable force if you want to stop them. Justice for Solo They are building a momentum, a 2-goal lead for them less than 2 minutes in.
Jared there getting in the way of Perscope, who had that clear as well. As you said, Hunter X Knight making more mistakes. They're not a very mistake-prone team. I mentioned it in Game 1. This is a bit of a surprise for me, but ZekVexol making the necessary changes, taking advantage of the plays that are given to them here. Hunter X Knight, I'm sure a little bit embarrassed with how this game has gone. His hot shot, infield, Manuel will stop Peaky from scoring as Perscope really doesn't have boost will. Play this one low and now flick it up and away. Hot shot to the corner. It is Perscope. Maniolari's missed the net. Hot shot off the sidewall. Keeters to clear. 3-0 will be the scoreline.
This ZekVexol team, they are just destroy. Oh, JR DC'd. No wonder I didn't see him on the play.
We'll get a pause here. A little technical pause while we wait for Jared to reconnect. But ZekVexol do have a 3-goal lead here. And with how things are going, Hunter X Knight under a lot of pressure so far in this game. We'll hopefully get things back in just a few moments here. We'll get Jared back in the lobby. But a ZekVexol 3-goal advantage in the middle of game 2. I mean, all these adjustments they're making. Keeters has got all 3 goals. But if we were to say it was Keeters' game, I think that would be an understatement. This has been a full team change, a full team turnaround. And striking early, holding Hunter X Knight back, winning those 50-50s. ZekVexol is doing what they need to do to turn this series around for themselves.
Yeah, I think they are definitely doing what they need to do. And what they need to do is capitalize on those mistakes. But, the mistakes, they appeared in game number 1, but they weren't as prevalent. And right now, they are more prevalent, and ZekVexol is taking advantage of every single mistake that they see.
Yeah, as well. I mean, it's been quite the game so far. 3 goals already, half the game to go. Hunter X Knight, I mean, they got a slight pause here for that disconnect, but I think the question I have now is, knowing that Knight's, down by 3 goals, knowing that they're in this awkward position, what's their plan now for the rest of this game? I mean, you can't say it's over just yet, can you?
It's definitely not over. There is still half the game to be played. A 3-0 deficit. A 3-0 deficit is not something that is impossible to come back from, but we are back.
Yeah, as you said as well. As you said, 3 goals, a major lead. Hunter X Knight looking for that comeback. The benefit is they have that 1 game already. We'll just have to wait and find out as well in just a moment. But 3-0. And again, we'll just keep things going here as we're going to get a quick little restart from kickoff from that last goal and get things back to being underway.
3-goal lead as we start after that technical pause, looking like the EWC out here. Periscope looking to start off on a good foot after that pause. Can't quite find it though. Jared bumped out of the play. Peaky forced to clear it out. Jared recovers off the ceiling, looking for the solo play. They find the goal right after the tech pause. Still half the game to go. 100% able to come back right here for Hunter X Knight.
Yeah, I know Jared said he was pretty unhappy about that ruling. He didn't like the fact that the goal did count either way, but you know what? Maybe he's putting that anger into his gameplay there. A goal right off kickoff, too. And Hunter X Knight, they're going to erase any sort of pain that last goal caused them. And you said it, a comeback's not unlikely. Oh, that's a big mistake. Oh, that's a bad mistake for Jared. Keeters with a wide open net, and it doesn't get much easier than that.
It's an unfortunate misplay in the corner. Leaves the net wide open after Jared lets the ball really bounce off of his car. Misjudged the play, and so that 3-goal lead is back for ZekVexol. Periscope looking to change it back to a 2-goal lead. He is shut down. Manilar, a great beat. Looking for the follow-up. Great recovery. The pass to Jared. Jared for the shot. Peaky able to make the save. Showing that save count off in this game. Periscope can't find the shot. Oh, but Manilar throws Jared off. And now Hot Shot has an opportunity.
Off the corner. Periscope plays this one. Will Went out right on the play, but it's hot shot again. Up goes Jared. It's a well-made touch, but X Knight staying on the ball as it's Keeters, Peaky, for Scope. Peaky again. Justice for Solo still holding on to offense throughout the majority of this game. It really feels like a bit of a reversal here, although it's a more grounded game. Justice for Solo winning the challenges, winning the plays in the midfield. X Knight just can't generate offense right now enough for them. They've only got 4 shots this game compared to Justice for Solo's 10. It's been a complete role reversal, and Justice for Solo are loving every moment of it.
Justice for Solo, they are 100% liking this. Oh, Jared, he expected his teammate to get a touch, and he just didn't. Those are the communication mistakes that we've been seeing from 100x Knight, and those are the communication mistakes that need to be capitalized on by Justice for Solo. They have been so far this game, but so far they are only up 3 goals. There is a minute left though, which could be enough. Hot shot clears it out. Manialar is there to receive it. Is demoed off the play. Kiki continuing the play for Justice for Solo. Jared catches it. 1 touch out to Manny. Manny takes possession. Hot shot. A great challenge. Harry clears it out. Peters and Peaky. Jared catches it. Great first touch. Peaky, no touch from him. Manny for the shot. It's off target. Trying to find a pass to Periscope. Nothing coming out. Very awkward play on the Justice for Solo side of the field.
And X Knight definitely keeping possession, looking to let them know who's boss. Oh my goodness! What an angle for Jared. That is a tough shot. He's so close to the back wall. But Jared clearly still a bit enraged from this game. That is a statement goal if I've ever seen one.
A statement goal indeed, and that must be honestly a huge momentum shift for 100x Knight. You know, as we said, and we'll continue to say, this is a momentum game for both teams, and that goal right there is a statement. It is a power move. It is something that will give them momentum for this next game. The demo's coming out. Jared, can he find the last goal? No, he can't. 4-2 victory for Justice for Solo. But 100x Knight, not going to go down that easy.
No, it isn't, but it is a tied series here. Justice for Solo. Answer back. Keeters again scoring everything. He's got all 4 goals this game. Justice for Solo just feeding the hot hand. And Keeters is taking every chance he can get. So it feels like a very simple offense for Justice for Solo. Just play to Keeters. Because in one way or another, Keeters will find ways to score.
Keeters, you know, he had every single goal for Justice for Solo, but Peaky and a hot shot both had an assist each. Keeters, look at that goal to shot ratio as well. 4 goals to 5 shots. Just absolutely insane. And I guarantee you that some of those assists from Peaky came from those 5 shots that he had as well. That offense from Justice for Solo is just completely overwhelming for 100x Knight in that game. And those mistakes are getting capitalized on.
Yeah, a couple mistakes early as well. You said cost 100x Knight dearly. Going into Game 3, it's all about being able just to reset, because those aren't mistakes I think we're going to see often in this matchup. But for Knight, they know they made mistakes. They know they made their fair share of misplays. Going into Game 3, it's all about just resetting and reorganizing yourself for the future. So this series is still far from over. These teams are still far from done. And 100x Knights, I don't think we're going to see that kind of mistake-prone game again. Justice for Solo have proven they can beat them, though. That's at least a start for a team here in the Grand Finals. But to keep things going, they'll need to find more goals. And in Game 3, boy, what a game it will be to take the lead in the series. Both these teams looking for any reason to take it, as Jared almost fell on top of it. It will stay wide. 100x Knight looking for some spectacular plays early, and I mean, you can't doubt them. With what we've seen Jared do today, I would not be surprised if he finds a goal like that.
Periscope for the pre-jump, not able to find success with it though. Very unfortunate for him. Peaky, an early flick. Jared is up for it, gets 1 touch to Periscope. Periscope takes possession to the sidewall, looking for the pass down to Jared. Jared for the shot, and it is placed more than perfectly. And 100x Knight, they find that lead with 4:20 left on the clock.
It's a perfect pass. I mean, you cannot ask for anything better there from Periscope. Hitting it in towards enemy territory where the defenders are waiting and still finding Jared up for the ball. That is a perfect pass. You couldn't have asked for much better, and that's why that goal goes in. Jared's job was easy there. It's the pass that really makes that play happen.
Oh, for sure. And those pass, and honestly, it's kind of like a mirror image of the last game. That last game started off because of a great pass from Peaky to Keeters. And this game starts off great. 499 is a wonderful pass of their own. Peters looking to reset. A great pinch all the way down the field. Jared does find a touch after getting bumped. Now Peters looking for a play. The great clear from Jared. Hot shot is forced. Play defense. Not the best touch ever, and Periscope capitalizes on that. A 2-goal lead for 100x9.
Yeah, and just a challenge in the corner that Hotshot never saw. He had his back towards Manny Alar, never really recognized that he was going to jump into that one. And that's where that pinch comes through, finding Perscope again right in front of the net. 100x9 playing dangerously on offense. They're getting a lot of these chances right inside that box. They're playing very close to the nets, and they're getting awarded for that aggression.
Yeah, it is definitely a different 100x9 than we saw in game number 2. Honestly, it's the 100x9 that we saw in game number 1, where they won in dominating fashion. Kiki looking to throw a shot on net. It's a miss from Jared. And once again, Peters finds a way to score. That is a 100% goal participation in these last 2 games. And it is just a huge goal for Justice for Solo there.
Keep feeding the hot hand, as I say. Justice for Solo. Continue to let Keters shoot, and Keters continues to let them know that's the right decision to make right now. As Jared won't win the challenge. Peaky to Keters. Barry missed off the back wall. It's still off the post. It's rolling in front, and it somehow stays out. Justice for Solo hit the front post and could not get out. Now they go again. Hot shot looking for the bump. Manuel to save. Peaky there. Perscope is waiting next. This one challenge. Peaky will go. He'll win the play above the goal. Jared to clear. Manuel unable to find that touch, and it will be back to the blue half of the field. J4S hold on to it, but it's Knight on the ball as Perscope. Jared again, leaves it, Manuel, saved by Hotshot. Back to the way they go. It's Peaky and Keters. The flick goes nowhere, and Perscope keeps it away.
And as we figure it out just now, it is a 100% goal participation from Keters this series. He has been has an assist or every goal for Justice for Solo this series, which is nothing to scoff at. Definitely making his mark for playoff MVP if it is Justice for Solo to win this series. Periscope looking for the save. Great first touch to keep control. Hotshot is there. Mini LR keeps it out of danger. Gets one final touch. Jared with the pre-flip. The 50 goes straight back to Keters. Mini LR keeps it out of danger. Periscope is there for the beat off the back wall. PT gets one touch. Looking for the follow-up. One more. Nothing more, though. Jared out to Periscope. Periscope takes possession. Goes off the back wall. Hotshot doesn't have a touch. Peaky in a dangerous position. Mini LR, does he have the shot? No, he doesn't. And the Hotshot able to keep it out of danger. Mini LR throws it back to the sidewall where Periscope takes possession. Bangs it off the back wall. Peaky gets one touch. Jared looking for the pass. Hotshot is able to get one touch to keep it out of danger.
So much back and forth, and still the lead is for 100x Knights, but it may not stay that way for long. That front post is open, but it is kept away. And back they go again. Jared can score here, and he'll do exactly that. Left in front. Keters had almost nothing to his name, and that's where he gets burned. Jared, he's not missing from that angle. He's not missing from that distance.
Not at all. And Jared, he has been the man for 100x9. You know, each team has their man this playoff season. Jared looking for another one. Gets one more touch. Peaky wins at 50. Flip reset. Loses possession, though. Now it's double commit from 100x9. Jared is able to make the save just in time. It's a big clear out. Mani LR gets the shot. Is it on target? Hotshot able to save it away. Now Periscope a little awkward. Able to force it off of his car. Mani LR, great touch up. Jared gets one touch to the sidewall. Peters takes possession. Looking for the pass. Jared is up. The pitch isn't on target. Yes, it is. Peaky is able to save Hotshot. Gets one touch. Periscope shuts him down. Looking for the Doomsday dish. Saved away by Peaky. And now Keters for the counterattack.
Time running low here. Keters, oh, he missed his chance. And Justice for Solo. I mean, they know how important this game is. Peaky! Oh, what a dribble! Manny LR got caught, and Peaky takes one back. 17 seconds to go.
Once again, Peaky shows up when it's needed. It is back to a 1-goal game with 17 seconds left. And that was the first goal that Peters was not a part of, although he was a key element in getting that ball into the hands of Piki. Was not credited with any assist, though. Hot shot, a great pass, but it does not connect with anyone. Jared, a great 50 periscope coming in, trying to keep that out of danger with only 3 seconds left. He just kills the ball. Peters keeps it up. Hot shot is up for it. Jared, a great challenge, now looking to kill it. Peters does not keep it up with the dunk from Jared. And 100x Knight take the series lead.
Previous champions, the defending champions, stay ahead in the series, but another 1-goal difference. These games are close, these games are intense, but 100x Knight, that offense still proving to be just as tough to handle. But with Game 4 not too far away from us, with Game 4 just ahead, the question I ask is, when will ZekVexol use that tactical timeout? It feels like now could be a time to use it, but clearly they're confident in the way that they're playing. They haven't called for it yet, and if they haven't called it yet, I don't think they're going to call it at all during this break. They're going to hold on to it.
Yeah, and honestly, if they win this next series, I don't even, or the next game, apologies, I honestly don't see them using that timeout at all in the series, because maybe if they lose Game 5 after winning Game 4, then maybe I see it, but even then, they've kept the series so close. It was one-sided Game 1, and then it was one-sided Game 2, and now it's a very close game number 3. So now we're looking to see if Justice for Solo can keep this game number 4 close.
Said as well, looking to make Game 4 close as well. We'll go into Game 4. 100x Knight do hold the lead in this series, but we'll have to just wait and see for how much longer can they hold it. Game 4 of this best of 7 series. Game 4 of the Grand Finals. 100x Knight may have the lead, but it's only by slim margins, and Justice for Solo Snow, they're not too far away from tying this one back up again.
A great bang from Perry, but Peters will have possession to start off this game. He has been the hot man. Perry, no boost. Is it on target? Hot shot doesn't have it. Peekers for the shot. Lar just has to clear it away. And now we reset it once again.
Another reset, another play in front, and another chance to score, but Justice for Solo still not able to hit that goal in front. Lar to challenge. 100x Knight still not on offense. Justice for Solo looking determined to be the ones to score next, as Piki denied. Jared wins the challenge. The backfield's open, and Lar will take it. 100x Knight waited, but their chance finally came.
There it is. The first goal of game number 4 is handed to 100x Knight. And so far the series, if I am not mistaken, the first goal has been given to the winner of the game. Last game, it was 100x Knight with the first goal, and they won that game. Game 2, it belonged to Justice for Solo, and game 1 was 100x Knight as well. So, will the trend continue, or will Justice for Solo be able to break the trend? Jared looking to keep him away. Piki pops it up. Jared is up, able to find one touch, stays behind it. Lar cuts in. Periscope, a wonderful clear all the way down the field. Peters is able to make the save. Now Jared, no touch from him. Piki turns around, looks for the demo. Lar jumps early. Periscope has the save. Hotshot keeps the ball in play. And there's Periscope for the clear.
Another big clear, another big chance at another potential opening here, as it's Piki actually getting a pretty nice lift on that dribble, but Justice for Solo just not able to get close right now. 100x Knight are all covering their nets. And simply put, when a team is playing this far back as Knight are, you've got to start going for demos. And Justice for Solo, we haven't seen a lot of demos from them in this final bracket, but we know they can do it. They've got strong demo players on that roster. So we know they can do it. We know they have what it takes. Demos themselves, it's Keeters, who is number 2 on the season on our demo ratio, meaning he's got the most demos compared to the amount of times he gets demoed as. Well, that's a big mistake. They'll take advantage of that too. An open net for Piki.
A terrible mistake comes out from Jared. Piki just has the open net, adding on to his goal ratio. And the tie game is set. 3 minutes left, back to 0-0 practically. But Justice for Solo looking for the lead here. Peters takes possession, plenty of boost, pops it up, stays behind it. Periscope shadows him, Gets past him, though. Kiki looking for the midfield pass. Periscope is there to clear it out. Manialar in support finds one touch. And there's a shot from Keeters. Jared saves it away with ease. Looking for the clear of his own. Hot shot does not have it. Kiki looking to clear it out. Looking for another goal. Manialar has the save, but it goes right to Hot Shot. Hot Shot for the goal. Manialar for the save once again. And now Keeters back to the mid. Jared is there for the save. Kiki off the sidewall finds a double tap. And now Manialar has the clear. Goes straight back to Hot Shot. Hot Shot pops it up. Jared, last man back for 100x Knight, able to make the save. It's a little awkward, but Periscope comes in to save the day.
Yeah, a lot of defense this game for 100x Knight. It's like defense simulator. They're just playing on the goal line for almost the entirety of this game. The only goal they got was on that counterattack as well, but finally they get rid of it. They've only had 2 shots this game to their name, and yet it is still tied as Periscope, looking for number 3, will be cleared back by Peaky. Awkward touch back towards Jared. It will be back up for Manialar. Down for, well, it was looking for Jared, but that play will just be a bit far ahead here, and justice for Solo. We'll have to wait as it's Jared. The fake will be right to the hands of Peaky. As up the corner, leaving it. Hot shot, challenged anyways. Keeters with the win. It will go all the way back. 100x Knight still unable to really get anything to happen on the other side of the field, and as time goes by, how much longer can this 100x Knight defense hold?
Well, as we know, this 100x Knight, their defense isn't too good, but it has been good this game. You know, the only way to get better at defense is to practice it, and they are practicing it against the best offensive team this bracket. But Perry throws a shot on net with a wonderful pass from Manialar. They thought he was going to get one more touch, but he fakes it out, and Perry just slots that top left. I don't know if he can even get better placement.
Really can't there, and not only could Manialar not did Manialar choose not to make the pass, he couldn't even make the pass there. He ran out of boost, so the right call, the right play, perfectly timed as well. 100x Knight will take the lead late here, and we've seen now just before have struggled to come back late. Now they've struggled to play as well. Now they've overcome it. Jared's just beat 2-on-1 challenge, and it's wide open. A 2-goal lead now.
A very awkward play. The double commit, and Jared was able to recover from the bump and find the double tap. The first goal for Jared this game, and the first assist. They are all 1 for 1 for 1. Each member on the 100x Knight team has 1 goal and 1 assist. Jared looking to make it 2. Manialar for the dunk. Does he have another one? It's on the goal line. That's so awkward. And there it is. Jared with the second goal, and Manialar with the second assist.
I just fell in front. You knew eventually, at some point, that was going to go in. It's just pandemonium in the back of the net there. But Justice for Solo just could not get the touch, could not read when the shot was going. 100x Knight, goal by goal, taking this team down. Goal by goal, looking to do what has only been done once before. As Jared whiffed, Periscope will be ready back. 30 seconds remain on this clock as a play in front of the goal will be for 100x Knight. Justice for Solo. I mean, I don't think they have a chance to win this game now. The question's going to be that tactical timeout. Will they use it? I think they will, but in the likely case they do use it, what are they going to do to just, you know, come back in this series? We have not seen teams really make that many comebacks in these matches, and 100x Knight not looking to be likely to let Justice for Solo have their own.
Well, we saw in game number 2 that Justice for Solo was able to get the best over 100x Knight. We have 100x Knight was bested by Justice for Solo in game number 2, but in Justice for Solo, I think that was really them just covering every option that 100x Knight had. They had one player covering another for every moment of that game, and that ended up working out for them as they were able to make, you know, they were able to punish the mistakes of 100x Knight more and more throughout that game, and ended up winning that game 4-2. So I think we need to see that once more from Justice for Solo.
So far, no call for that tactical timeout here. Justice for Solo have not used one all brackets, and it seems like that trend continues even into the grand finals, even when 100x Knight have triple match point against them here. That's a gutsy call for Justice for Solo. I don't know if they saw something that maybe I didn't, but that's a gutsy call for this team. Clearly they have at least something that they're confident about. That's why they're not calling it.
I mean, if I were in the position, I would 100% call it, but they definitely are saying something in that case. Then, you know, maybe they realize what they need to work on already, and they don't need the timeout to discuss it. Maybe they just feel confident in the series, and they just want to stay hot and, continue with the series.
Well, next night now, championship points. This is their chance to win it, their chance to take this series, to take this tournament, and to go in 2 seasons, 2 first place finishes. Jared, Perscope, Manny Alar, this roster, these starting 3 players, unchanged from last season when they won the grand finals in 6 games against the Egoists. Now, tonight, in 5 games, they may take down Justice for Solo, as Perscope is already on the board. 4 seconds in, and 100X Knight are 1 step closer to being champions.
1 step closer they are. There is 4 minutes and 56 seconds left on the clock, and 100X Knight have already put their hand up. They have already put a goal onto the board, and now they're looking at another one. The pass, Jared, the parry. It's the pre-jump from Jared, does not connect on it. Peters has the clear, but Manialar has the sidewall, does not have the read though. Kiki clears it all the way down the field. Peters off the sidewall, periscope, big clear down the field. Manialar jumps for it off the back wall. Peters is there to catch it. It is win or go home right now for Justice for Solo. They are not looking to get 4-1 in this series.
Shot will wait, but Justice for Solo has got to feel that pressure now, knowing that you have to win from here on out or else you'll be done in the second place spot. What a save! Perscope hits it off the post, and Justice for Solo denied of the goal. Peaky, the dribble, the dunk, but he won't get any further from there. Keters now had many goals this series, but he went quiet last game. Now up the back wall, hot shot there. Perscope in the midfield, waiting on it, still moving. Now he's found Jared, but that pass doesn't connect. Manuelar behind will follow things through as Keters wins the challenge. Perscope, it's a clear. Perscope now in. It is Keters up on this. Manuelar's backflipped. This is going to open up some room. 100X Knight all the way back to defense, and maybe, just maybe, Justice for Solo have a chance to attack on their own and finally put one in. They hit the post before. Can they put one now in between the posts and into the back of the net?
That is the question that everyone in this chat and in this game is asking. That's another great shot, but Jared is there for the save. Harry is there in support, but it resets back to Peters. Peters, the pass to Peaky for the shot. It is not on target. Jared, make sure he doesn't own goal. There's a shot from Peters, and there it is. The tying goal for Justice Solo. They are not going down without a fight in this game 5.
Perfectly placed from Peters. That's not easy to find a shot past Jared. With the way he's been playing tonight, he's been a brick wall for a good amount of his time on defense. And it is 100X Knights who now see a goal against them here as an open kickoff. Justice for Solo up by 1 now.
The 1-goal lead, that is a huge place to be, especially on a match point like this. There's still 3 minutes left, which means it is not over yet, but it is something that they have to land on. It is looking good for them this game.
Hot shot. Keters. Justice for Solo with some revitalized life. Now they're up by 1. Our next night haven't taken this championship yet. They still need 1 more win. We've seen teams come back from this. As per scope, Keters to deny. Jared off the sidewall sets things up for Perscope in front of the net. Manialar whiffed on it, and so too will Perscope. Manialar, still Manialar, stopped by Keters. Jared up the corner, up is Perscope, but Keters will win the play. He's got both goals this game as Hotshot now playing it. Keters jumping, but will not find his chance. Peaky holds. The regular season MVP keeps this one in the air, keeps it for a hot shot. No goals there. He's got options. He's got Keters, but no one will push. Now goes Keters. The shot, save. Everybody jumping in for the next night. It is absolute chaos in the backfield, but Knights will recover. They will be collect, and this offense for Justice for Solo will eventually be quelled. A 1-goal difference. Knights hoping it doesn't get any worse than that.
Hoping indeed. They need to tie this game up sooner rather than later. It's a fake from Jared. A fake is what we will call it for now, but Manialar, he found an opening. He just bangs that ball on target. It finds its way in. And we have a tie game in game number 5. An absolutely wonderful fake from Peters right there, as we all know. It was a very tactical fake. But we have a tie game in one of the most important games of this season. And Hot Shot fakes in a 1-goal game already. What a game.
Couple times this Justice for Solo team win that kickoff decisively, and it has only helped them out here as they are surging forward to keep this series alive, keep their hopes in the grand finals alive, keep their championship run alive. Up by 1 with 95 seconds to go. Justice for Solo hold the lead, but will they hold it for the rest of this game? Manny Alar keeps the offense, but it's Keters with the ball. No one there to challenge. Scope will have to jump in. He'll take it slowly as Jared, doesn't read the corner bounce. Scope will take it away anyways. Up goes Jared, will bump out Peaky, but he won't get any further than that. Manny Alar, Jared's already up! The redirect! Jared! MVP performance! And second left. Jared won't let this series die. He won't even let this game die. We've been calling his name all night, and for very good reasons. A clutch goal at a clutch moment. Now he plays midfield. Keters takes it away. Manny Alar won't hold this one, but it's Jared again. Hot shot. Jared on the dunk. It's Scope to wait behind. Scope again. Waiting. Looking. Eyeing up an opportunity. It's played in front of the net. Jared to go the other way. That one pinched a bit far. He'll leave it for Manny Alar. Options in midfield. Scope will go to commit. The net's open. Keters gets there. And there will be no follow-up shot inside the final half a minute. And Justice for Solo back the other way, looking for any chance late. It's Hot Shot to redirect. It's Jared to go. It's Manny Alar to shoot. Save it line. Follow up. Still kept up by Keters. 10 seconds and counting. Hot Shot's taken out. Manny Alar can't shoot. Peaky will hold, but it's Jared on the play. On an X-Knight with one last chance. Above the net. In front. Manny Alar can't take it. It's Jared. It's for Scope, but no goals will fall. Overtime in Game 5. Justice for Solo, their life hangs in the balance.
I 100% guarantee you, Sporty, that Justice for Solo trio was holding their breath that entire last seconds where the ball was stuck in the air. That ball was going off their back ball over and over again. Here we have Periscope for the shot, the double commit for the save. They are crumbling under the pressure right now, Sporty. Justice for Solo, they're double committing. They're getting a little more shaky. It's getting perfect for 100x night. Periscope. The flip reset, top right of the net, saved away, and Peaky's there for the save as well. Manny Alar looking to find the pass, but Hotshot is there for the clear. Periscope takes possession off the back wall. One touch, looking for the cross map, the flip reset, looking for the bump, doesn't have it. Manny Alar for the shot, double tap, and Manny Alar wins the season for 100x night.
Deep of Sky did it 2 seasons ago, but 100x Knights, the second team in Ascend Tournament Series history to win 2 championships, and the second to do it 2 seasons in a row. Their first place finish streak continues. They won the Paradise Cup months ago. They won this Pinnacle Cup in Season 4 months ago. They now win in Season 5 in a 5-game bout. The night's over, the season's over, and 100x Knight are your champions yet again.
And champions they are. That has to be at least one of the first times in ATS history that a team has won 3 events back to back to back. The Paradise Cup, the Season 4 Pinnacle Cup, and then now the Season 5 Pinnacle Cup. An absolutely star-studded performance from 100x Knight, taking that victory in game number 5. Just an absolutely amazing performance. I'm speechless.
Yeah, no, what a night it has been. Again, that was incredible. That exactly quantifies what we expect the Sunrise X Knight team. They are, simply put, unstoppable right now in winning these tournaments and winning these championships. And to do it even when the season and the tournament gets tougher and tighter up as well. I mean, you can't deny what the Sunrise Knight team can do, because they did it last season. This season, it got way more difficult. You're talking about Shawnee State, Justice for Solo. It's one of the best, even better competition than before, and yet they do it again, and they again continue to prove why they are such a solid team. Simply put, can anybody beat 100X Knights?
It is not looking like anyone can. The closest that we had was Shawnee State, who only managed to bring it to Game 6 after beating KCD Chaos. Just what an amazing run from 100X Knight. Not the best team ever in the regular season, but afterwards, just a star-worthy performance.
As you said as well, a star-studded performance, and well, we can't wait too much longer. Joining us again here is ZekVexol to end out the night. ZekVexol, we got to see an incredible grand finals, but Knight, they've done it 2 seasons in a row now, and simply put, they're proving to be unstoppable.
They're absolutely proving to be unstoppable, and well, they definitely shut down my prediction. They looked really great, and honestly, it felt like a completely different 100X Night than we saw earlier on in the night. I think they took that moment between games, were able to get that mental reset, number one. Number two, they definitely were watching that series that Justice for Solo was playing, tried to find that opening, maybe even listening to what we were talking about a lot here on the cast, and just shut them down. It looked really great. It looked very clean, and I gotta say, they looked way better. They blew my expectations out of the water here in the grand finals than their first series.
Yeah, you said as well, they really did just continue to defy expectations. I mean, even when we're talking about the season being tougher, being closer, being more difficult, they continue to win outright here. Welcome in 100X Knight per scope, Manny LR and Jared. 2 seasons in a row. This has not been done since season 1 of the Ascend Tournament Series. What a tournament victory here. You do it again. This is now 3 tournaments in a row in the Ascend Tournament Series that you've won. No one can stop you per scope. Another season victory, another championship is yours. How are you feeling here? It's another big win.
We felt great. It was pretty expected. We had to show who runs this league. Honestly, it should have been a 4-0, but they DDoSed us. But it's all good. We'll let it slide this time.
You guys looked really great. Manny, I gotta say, I think you, when I was watching, kind of had this background player as shadow style where I'm floating around, I'm getting the defense, and I feel like you're gonna be the unsung hero of the night. Okay, watching you chill back, get the saves, and then get that closing out goal. You're monitoring the field very widely. What do you feel your role is on the team? And am I hitting the nail on the head here?
Yeah, I think my role in the team is naturally I'm just a very aggressive player, and that also goes into sort of a kind of third man role I can play, where I'd go for a lot of demo, or I say third man, but just like not going for the ball as much and going for demos. And when I do have the ball, kind of just mixing up the play, getting him confused, and just trying to pass it mid for my teammate. I might put in some solo plays here and there, but as long as we're scoring, that's all that matters to me.
And Jared, we cannot forget you. How do you feel after, your regular season performance wasn't bad, but not just particularly breathtaking, but this playoff performance is something otherworldly. How do you feel about especially that last game in the grand finals?
It was good. It should have been a 4-0, like Perry said. If my PC doesn't shut off, we 4-0. And then we honestly should have 4-0'd the semifinal series. It's just we didn't play the greatest, but it feels amazing.
Yeah, of course, and Jared, he's won the MVP in the playoffs MVP from the Paradise Cup. He won it back in season 4. He's somehow won it again here. Jared is our playoffs MVP for a second straight season and for a third straight tournament. Every single time we go into playoffs, it feels like, Jared, you hit another gear. What is it about playoffs that brings the best out of you?
I love competing when pressure's on. Like, I love playing like RLCS, and I guess just playing with pressure on just makes you play better, I guess. And I have 2 good teammates that just let me do pretty much whatever I want.
That definitely makes entire sense. You guys looked really great out of there. Periscope, I got to ask a question. I mean, it's been kind of on my mind. A lot of these things have been thrown around back and forth about kind of your guys' ability to overcome adversity. How are team comms? You guys looked like, you took that closer win against Shawnee over in the semifinals, and you were able to bounce back from that. Sure, you guys had a difficult round, but you were able to kind of overcome that and really collect yourselves. So how does that go in your guys' team comms in between games?
Well, honestly, if we're talking about in between games, we don't really talk much. We just say, we gotta lock in, because we know what we're here to do, and we expect to beat everybody basically because we have experience playing in games like this. I know Shawnee State does as well, but I mean, I think on paper we're just a better team. So we knew we just had to put everything all on the field if we wanted to win.
And here's a question for all of you. How do you feel like being a part of an org like 100X? They have their main roster who is recently placed top 8 in the last dance qualifier in North America. Do you get any pros and cons of having a team like that as part of your org?
Well, mainly, I mean, we just get a good resources. We have a good manager that helps us manage everything. That helps a lot. So we don't have to
And
worry
then,
about the time schedule and stuff.
and then obviously Thrifty is a great owner. He does anything we need. He can get for us. He's the goat.
Yeah, of course. You guys said it here. A goated performance, a goated Oregon's, a goated record that you are now only one of 2 teams to have ever done. You might be the first as well. I can't check, but you might be the first to have win. I think you're the first to also win 3 tournaments in a row. I don't think we've ever had a team do that before in ATS history. So congratulations on that. That is something that will likely not get beaten, and who knows, knowing the way you guys play, you might keep extending that during the off season. But for now, congratulations on your performance, on your victory. 100X Knight are champions again. I'd love to keep you guys in here forever. I think I said this as well last tournament when you guys won, but we gotta let you guys go and celebrate the rest of the night. Before you go though, let's get some quick shoutouts for all of you. Let's start with Mandy Alar. Do you have any shoutouts? Anything you want to say? It's been another incredible season, another victory for 100X Knight. Do you have any shoutouts? Anybody out there you want to thank for supporting you guys all season long?
Shout out 100X. Shout out my teammates. They're goated. And I do this for my mama and my little brother too.
Of course, and we'll now go to Per Scope. Do you have any shoutouts? Do you have to add anything that you want to say?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates. Shout out to Arik, our manager. Yeah, he helps us a lot, and shout out to 100X.
We'll move on to Jared, the MVP for this season as well as last season for the playoff bracket. Do you have any shoutouts? Any shoutouts? Anybody out there you want to thank? Anything you want to say to kind of cap off an amazing season for 100X Knight?
I want to shout out 100X. I'd obviously my teammates. Ark. I want to shout out Hot Shot for the free win.
Yeah, that too.
I know for a fact Knight midseason mentioned they really wanted that revenge against Hotshot and Justice for Solo, but you get it here. 4-1, you take them down in the grand finals, and you are Season 5 champions. Congratulations to 100X Knight. Thank you for joining here. For Scope, Manuelar, and Jared. Have an amazing rest of the night. Go celebrate for the rest of the evening. You guys deserve it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
GGs.
GGs.
What a night it has been here so far. What an evening it has been, ZekVexol and Maxine. If we go to the bracket one more time, I'll show you what we have seen over the last 2 days of action. It's been a lot, that's for certain. But 100X Knight through it all will win the Pinnacle Cup. Maxine, to kind of cap off the night, to kind of round off what you've seen this night. You've been here both days. Just kind of talk to me after seeing what you've seen for both these days. What can you say to kind of describe what the bracket that we've seen in the tournament that has been this season's Pinnacle Cup?
Well, if I may, I want to expand onto the last 2 events as well. Pinnacle Cup and ATS Season 4. It is just been honestly a dynasty that 100X Knight has had, if to say the least. Winning 3 in a row is nothing to scoff at. It is just something that, even if it ends, next season, if it ends, it is something that we probably will not see in a long time. It is a once in a lifetime, once in a league time thing that we are seeing right now.
Yeah, seriously, that's the kind of stuff that makes. I mean, we're living in history right now with 100X Knight and their unprecedented dominance. Again, the last team that really felt like this was Evolve Skylight back in Season 0 and then Season 1. No one could stop them, but their run did eventually end, as all runs do. But 100X Knight, they don't want it to end. They want this party to continue every single season, every single tournament they play. ZekVexol, what a night it has been. You got to join us here for Championship Sunday. What do you have to say at the end of this tournament, at the end of the night? Is there any final thoughts that you have to cap off Season 5's Pinnacle Cup?
I think the matches tonight were absolutely amazing. I think every team showed up to play and were very deserving of this Final Four title, being in this Final Four, having their shot for that money prize at the end. But I have to say something specifically to 100X Night. First off, congratulations. You guys definitely deserved it. You showed up to play. Second off, though, congratulations on the bounty that got placed on your head, okay? Win it once, cool. Everybody's like, these guys are pretty good. They're all right. Come back, win it a second time. The target is on your back. Everybody's going to be gunning for you in future seasons to come. Everybody's going to be gunning for you in tournaments to come. You better watch out. They're going to be doing their VOD reviews.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to know how to play it in the Pinnacle Cup, just look at 100X Night and what they're doing. Because even as this season increased, last season we had 8 teams in the Pinnacle Cup. This season, 14. Who knows how many more we're going to have next season, and who knows how good those teams are going to be competing against 100X Night and what they have to show. But so far, as it stands, 100X Night just can't be stopped. Playoffs just bring out a different animal in them, and no one can stop them here. I mean, it's weird for 100X Night. They always seem to struggle a little bit at the start of the season, and everybody always says, is this the season that Night finally drop one and finally can't win? And then we go into the playoffs and we realize, well, oh no, this is why 100X Night keeps winning. And every single season, we see it again and again. Every single tournament, we see it again and again. 100X Night, champions of this tournament, champions of the Pinnacle Cup. But it's not the end for ATS Season 5. No, it's not. In 2 weeks, on August 31st, we'll end our season with a Season 5 Apex Cup. So the division right below the Pinnacle Cup will be live in just 2 weeks with our top 8 playing on this stream. So we're not done with Season 5 just yet. There's another week of action next week. It will be ending our final battle qualifier for the Apex Cup. And then the Sunday the week after, again, August 31st, will be the Apex Cup. So that will be when Season 5 ends here. But so far, a lot of teams have made their mark. A lot of teams have competed, and this is not going to be the last we'll see on next night, or really a lot of these teams. Because reminder, not too long after that, we're going to have our Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup as well, our Champions Cup 3. A lot of the top teams that you saw here today are going to be in that tournament as well. But to all of you out there, it's been an amazing night. Thank you as well to Maxine and to ZekVexol for joining. You guys can support them through the social medias you see next to their names. Thank you both for joining in tonight, for joining in for what has been amazing matches. Thank you as well to the overcasters we had join us not too long ago. We had Ice Cold Brew join us yesterday on this stream, to all the guests that have joined us, to Kyle, or Star as he goes by in-game, who has been doing production behind the scenes tonight. And thank you to all of you who've been supporting the Ascent Tournament Series Season 5 through all divisions, not just the Pinnacle Cup. Have an amazing rest of your night. Take care. Be well. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to go and show you a little bit of a B-roll of some stadiums, but this is it from us. We'll see you in 2 weeks when the Apex Cup comes to play. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your night.
I'm with it.